When last we left off, the hours dwindled away towards the battle that may yet decide the fate of Sigil and our heroes. With the first plans in motion set to trigger at nightfall the following evening, the Wildcards began a scout and recon mission of the Garrison House, the base of operations of the Crimson Coin and home to the General. Located somewhere in the Hive Ward, you made your way through the Market, the Ladies' Ward, and finally to the Lower Ward, where you exchanged coin with a beggar for information. This information led you to the Hornet's Nest, a bar and brothel frequented by the coin rank and file. Here, Hondo, in his favored terrain, disguised himself as a member and made his way inside, seeking information on the Garrison House or the location of the Stash House in the Lower Ward that you also intend to hit. His initial attempts with the Fey Dryad hands were unsuccessful, but in turning to the very drunk and celebratory coin members, found success. Ingratiating himself into their crew as a new recruit, they led Hondo and by extension the rest of you through the Lower Ward, through a guarded barricade and into the Hive. Not far from this barricade, between these two wards, the streets began to open up into an abandoned courtyard. The space is similar to what you know in the Market Ward, but is now a ghost town. Businesses, shops, homes abandoned, and lone stone wall encompasses the southern edge of this area. The stone wall surrounding a large military compound, a cross between a luxurious villa and an active military training ground. The wall is thick and actively patrolled. Several towers equally spaced surround the space, and heavy iron gate bars entry. However, shrouded in illusion and with good company, Hondo easily made his way inside. Beyond the wall, you saw a large homestead, a massive stone and marble manor, several outbuildings, guard stations, watchtowers, and a large two-story wraparound barracks and mess hall. As he was steered towards the barracks to meet with one of the Yugoloth lieutenants, there was a pointedness to the stare directly in Hondo's direction from this alien figure, and Hondo broke from this group with the attempt to evade this creature's pursuit. Intense series of events, Hondo slipped into the crowd and played along as the lieutenant ordered all in the vicinity to freeze and drop to their knees. As the creature waded through the crowd, mentally, telepathically hunting, Hondo dropped a fog cloud smoke bomb as diversion, and with short-range strikes used Whisper to evade his hunter. Unfortunately, this open sign of infiltration was noted by loud klaxon alarms and open fire from the dozens of armed militia along the walls. You all united and took off into the alleys of the Hive, sprinting through abandoned buildings and corridors headed for the ruined church that you knew to be where the rebel group, the Smiths, took shelter. Here you did indeed find two members, Red and Silver, and after a moment of conversation were hidden in the cellar beneath the ruin. As your pursuers' investigations passed overhead, you spoke with Red about your intentions to bring down the coin and that things would be coming to a head very soon. He spoke for his crew in saying that the time for action was now, and they agreed to join in whatever way they could. Finally, on sure footing with like-minded folk, you departed the Hive Ward through a safe, unguarded passage the Smiths led you to, and with the Hive at your back, and still much to do, much to plan in the next 30-ish hours, we begin tonight. For the sake of brevity, as I said, the Silver would lead you through a passage that is unguarded and safely travels through the two wards. Where do you want him to lead you to? Do you want to go back through the Lower Ward, or do you want to head through the Clerk's Ward and swing back up? And are you returning to Second Chances or staying out for the afternoon?
Takes like 4 hours, 4 hour-ish to get back. We know we got to meet our boy, Horace. I'm also worried we could like risk exhaustion if we do a lot and are out late doing a break and enter.
Where were we meeting Horace?
So, I thought at Second Chances.
That was the plan, because he initially said to meet at the Stash House, but then you guys made a point of saying you don't know where that is. So he realized, I'll come pick you up here around 10 or 11 o'clock, and you guys would travel together. That being said, you have ways to do whatever you want. You don't need to meet Horace. You could do whatever you want. However, that was what was agreed with him before.
I feel like we do need him to get us where we're going. And I don't know where else to find him anymore because his previous hideout kind of got raided.
Yeah. I reckon he'll find us.
So it's middle of the afternoon. I mean, I know it's a long walk, and I don't want to chat along the way because I don't want anyone to overhear us. But if we can get back, have a quick brainstorm about what the fuck we're going to do tonight, that still gives us enough time to get back and get back to potentially all the way back here. Again, we don't know where the fuck this stash house is. Probably should have just made Horace tell us.
Yeah, Mr. Blue, when you were in that brothel, you acted so quick just joining up with that coin. We didn't really understand. What intel did you get? And anything good from that whorehouse?
Well, it seems to me that where they took me, they have a stash. Forgive me, I've had a few drinks. I'm trying to recall everything. But
was the person your informant there, were they really chatty, really talkative?
Oh, they
chatted your ear off?
They were great, you know. They got me right in.
Oh,
I
great.
got into the bunks, you know, I saw everything.
Oh. All right, well, great. Maybe Miss Mary's probably right. We shouldn't talk about it out in the open if we're walking.
The compound is of interest, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Hondo, you had a pretty good look at the interior kind of layout of the compound. And I would say, given the short time in which you were there, you could do like a really rough kind of idea of like a mapping of what it looks like, with a little check when you have a chance to kind of sit down and kind of draw it out. But you, unfortunately, because it was so quick, you don't have a whole lot of points of interest. You have like 3. You noted what looked to be like the garrison house, like proper, like a manor house. What was the barracks was guaranteed. You know where the barracks are. And you did find that little kind of outbuilding of black powder storage and where some of the munitions were stored.
I do remember there was a delivery there the night before.
Mm-hmm. It would have been, those guys had successfully taken down an Arcurite something. They would have explained that they basically beat the shit out of and possibly killed some members of the Foundry, and to their opinion, received a good amount of Arcurite.
Well, why don't we head back to Second Chances? We can have a bite, prepare for dinner, maybe have a little bit of a rest, because we know tonight's going to be a long night. You guys down with that?
Yep, sounds good to me.
I think this is smart, yes.
Okay.
All right.
We need to make sure we have a fucking plan. Especially with Horace involved, who's just gonna want to impress Hondo and run in there, bombs blazing.
Why do you think he wants to impress Hondo so much?
I don't need to get into it. It's I think he just wants to be him. Like, Hondo, you better watch because, don't talk too much about killing someone and, wearing their skin and all that shit because you never know what you might be inspiring.
Very impressionable.
I guess.
You guys begin making your way back through the wards and through this kind of passage. As you guys make a point of saying you want to go back to Second Chances, Silver would lead you towards the clerk's ward and swing up through the hive to the clerk's ward, through the guild hall and towards market. He would leave you at the clerk's ward and return back into the hive, but he would get you into the clerk's ward into relative safety. You guys know that travel outside of, in the hive and lower wards is questionable. Outside is more or less fine, though there are more enemies than just the coin here. My last question, just in terms of pacing and timing, are you guys going to travel at the normal pace of the flow of traffic, so to speak, which would be slow, which would be like the basically, let's see, 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours to get back home, or would you try and push that a little bit?
I'd almost be in favor of going back a little bit slower, because I'd like to. It bothers me, this whole mercy killer business, that they might be in league with the corn. So I kind of want to be keeping my eyes out for them, making sure we're not being spotted, maybe looking for opportunities to kind of spy on them.
Okay, then that's absolutely a slow pace as you're actively kind of spying. In that case, yeah, it's going to be more on the 5-hour mark. So as we're getting back kind of late supper time. So that works out to check in. It's a leisurely walk. It's not like you're actively, hiking. You're just walking through the city. So it's not exhausting in any way, and almost would be a short rest if it wasn't so actively busy. But go ahead, if you want to keep an eye out for mercy killer activity, go ahead and make a perception check as part of your travel.
So many skills. I'm like, Foon's just so bad at all this shit.
While he's doing that, can I try to keep an eye out for Davis?
3.
3?
See, he's not
my
good at this
God.
stuff. He's not a skill monkey.
No, that's okay. Go ahead, Mary. You can make a perception check for Davis.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Ain't that just the story of Boone and Mary?
It's the same answer for both of you. A surprising lack of both of your targets. You can take that as you will, but neither of you see any sign of mercy killers or Devas as you're making your way. Mary, you're very confident that anything that would have been possible for you to see, and there are ways to evade your sight, even as good as it is. You're pretty confident that there was nobody keeping an eye and nobody trying to hide. And Boone, you're confident that you didn't see a single mercy killer this whole way.
Does that feel out of the norm, though, considering we saw some on the way there? Or is it just, you don't see cops everywhere you go all the time?
Right now, you rolled a 3. Just seems about right.
Yeah, all right. No cops.
Thank God. We didn't run into any.
Yeah. Feels good.
However, closing in on 8, almost 9 o'clock, like in your travel, the light switches and it becomes nighttime. And you watch as you're traveling, you're walking along the kind of torch lighters as they are, or the lantern lighters as they're going along and lighting up the street lights. And it's a nice, leisurely walk, the cobblestones, and especially as you're getting into the guild hall and into the market ward. It does have that kind of classic medieval feeling of walking through the streets, and it is nice, but there is obviously that uneasy feeling of knowing the dangers to come. But you take solace in the few safe and sane hours you have here as you return to Second Chances in a whirlwind of activity, as the late dinner and drinking crowd are well into their cups and into their plates at Second Chances. There is a single bard in the corner kind of just playing some music, adding to the atmosphere, and Vidane is actively going about and serving. And there is space for you to push 2 tables together, which would not be untoward, or obviously you can make your way back upstairs. You don't see Valentine down here. You don't see Doc. You don't see any of your allies. So you could easily ask for food to be brought upstairs if you wished.
Up to you, cats. You want to eat in your room?
Privacy, I think, is going to be important.
All right. Let's do it.
Easy enough. Vidane quickly just has a couple of words as you're passing, and as you request food to be brought up, he guarantees it'll be brought up swift and hot. You guys have made yourselves well ingratiated to Vidane's good graces, and there's no real bartering or any of that. He's happy to have you here. But yeah, you return to the room. Valentine is doing what?
Probably just like looking over the notes of his journal in everything they're supposed to do when they get back to the material plane. If they get back to the material plane.
Yeah, I mean, it's been it's been another day of leisure for Valentine, but there is a significant amount of pain, even in just sitting. You feel the wounds healing in that kind of magically enhanced way that your bodies are now kind of just accustomed to healing after an adventuring career. But there's this lingering pain to it that is, you're not concerned of curses, you're not concerned of anything like that, but you're just, of all the injuries and all of the near-death experiences you've had, this was a death experience, and thus you can see that it does carry a toll. So that's just been kind of lingering in the back of your mind. You're able to push it away and focus on the notes and any plans and things that you want to put your mind to. But you watch as
on
your
that
friends
note,
return.
I think he would have tied like a little bandana-esque looking thing around where his throat was cut, like where the scar of that is, feeling like self-conscious, occasionally just like running his finger across it, but trying to stop doing it by putting some sort of like, what is that called?
Like an ascot?
Cravat? Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That would not be something that would be hard.
He's out of the norm for him to look like.
Yeah, to have in his bag. Maybe he hasn't worn it in a minute, but it's there.
But yeah, I would say, Mary even put in the chat, I bet he was pretty much close to snoozing there until the door started to open, and then kind of just perked up and pretended like he's not as tired as he is.
Yeah, it would be late in the day, and absolutely you would be exhausted just from the lack of activity. But yeah, you guys all return. What are you doing? Anything, or do you want to just kind of zip forward to food and then on to the night?
I think we need to at least talk about ideas for tonight and what our general strategy is.
There's just like a parade in the background in the streets as I watch a little child is working her way through.
Yeah, there are some quiet little fireworks that are firing off every now and again. Little cheers in the crowd.
After getting the down low from the whole group of like Boone and all of them recapped it, Val would just be like thinking of how they should play this. I feel like we have all of these pieces. If we imagine like a chessboard, if the chess exists here, a dragon anti-board, we just have to figure out how to stack them. That gives us the best option to taking this general down. We got the Smiths. I'm thinking beyond tonight. But we got the Smiths. We got the uprising of the city people. We have the literal resistance making a strike at that artificer and another house. We also have Mordenkainen, who said he could bring the Reign of Hell down with the like automatons, those like terrifying war monster automatons
Hall of
automatons that are chasing it. Yes, everyone. Yes, automaton. We have to figure out how to time all this. That's great that you guys found a way in and out of the hive, at least, that could like avoid a check at the border, if you will.
The question's not only just getting into this is a longer term, but getting out, because we're going to have to get back here. We're not going to be able to fuck off from anywhere in the hive.
When you guys said you had those potions of etherealness, should you use that to get in or should you use it to get out?
I don't know. I think getting in is... The thing is, it's a catch-22 of hitting the stash house tonight. Because, there's a lot of benefits. It's a stash house. There's stuff there we could probably use. This isn't just really blow this shit up. This is a fucking heist, and then blow the shit up on the way out. So we're going to get that benefit. it is going to shake them. Potentially it's going to hinder them because now they don't have these resources. There's a lot of shit that this is going to accomplish. However, it does show our hand. If today's actions didn't already show our hand, it's going to show our hand even further, so people are going to be ready for us. Causing distractions are always great, but I think it's going to be exceptionally difficult, if not impossible, to get in. I also don't know that weird motherfucker lieutenant, is that what he was? He seemed to see you, Hondo. We know lots of creatures have been able to do that. Is the ethereal illness going to work on that? Any of you magic folks know?
My mic cut out for almost all that, and my mic and me speakers. But you asked do you know how?
About fear?
He could have detected Hondo?
Basically, the question was, we have those ethereal vials. The guy who detected Hondo, basically, I think for a game he has true sight. Do we know if that's going to be a problem with these ethereal vials?
I thought he had. We don't really know this because it's only off Hondo, but I thought he had just like telepathy. Telepathy? Can't teleport. Can read minds.
Telepathy is fine.
Telepathy. Yeah, I thought he could just hear and he was scanning people's minds. I don't know if he had true sight. Oh no, you're right. There was hints of that. They were like, oh, he can see illusions. It's like that guy told you that, Hondo. Like the buddy was like, oh, this fucking guy's stuff. He can see through any bullshit.
Yeah.
So
I would say
he's not the guy to mess with, but
I would say
don't think he'll
Hondo.
remember me.
Hondo, if you want to make an Arcana check for me,
Okay.
you can get a better insight into what, if anything, this creature seemed to have the ability to do. Following up, though, Hondo can make that check, of course. Valentine and Gord, if you guys want to make Arcana checks, good roll. 19 on the die for Hondo there. Plus your Arcana?
Yeah. My Arcana.
20.
Okay.
what did you want me to make?
Arcana for Val as well.
You got it.
These are going to be two different checks, but
Natural 20. It's a tale of two characters.
+4. 23.
23. Okay, perfect. You guys all rolled super high. Val, what was your total? With a natural 20 with your Arcana?
34.
Jesus H fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that Valentine rolls the nat 20 on the thing he absolutely doesn't need a nat 20 to accomplish. Which
No.
To know stuff.
insane. No,
This is
but
gonna
then
be important.
Boone can't roll things to save his fucking life.
Yeah. So, in this conversation, as Mary brings up a key point to your plan to evade sight in terms of illusion and in terms of etherealness, with your oil of etherealness that you do have. Hondo, you're confident that the order of operations and how you're watching this creature, because immediately you notice a threat. You noticed this creature looking across the barracks, zeroed in on you from a distance in the crowd you were in. And you didn't feel any mental tampering at that point. You are confident enough, and in your adventuring career, in the time you've spent with the Wildcards, there was either the ability to see through your illusion or such a high perception ability that your illusion didn't hold up. So take that as you will, that there are creatures, especially at this level, and that type of creature, that type of Yugoloth, could see through your illusion at a distance. After that point, you could feel it was using a telepathic ability to basically scrape the minds of all creatures in the area to like hone in on you. Like it was like trawling the mental network of everyone around the space until it could catch something that didn't fit, and you just happened to evade it enough to avoid that. So there are two elements at work here. This creature is certainly imbued with the abilities to push through illusion, and has the ability to kind of mess with the mind, or at the very least listen in when it wants to. So you know that is an element of the threat of that creature. As you're kind of discussing this and explaining to the group, both Gord and Valentine, you recognize the powers of true sight, that ability to see through illusion and to see through invisibilities and to see all these shape changers as they truly are. All these things come through with true sight. You're pretty confident, and Valentine, you are certainly confident. True sight can see into the ethereal plane out to a certain range. Oil of etherealness will fail under the eyesight of true sight. That doesn't mean you're not. You can be detected, but you can't be attacked. You can be touched on a different plane.
That's true.
While on the other plane, you're still on a different plane of existence. But that could easily raise alarms should you be spotted. And you rolled the natural 20. You know the rough distances of spells and your effects. A site like this is about 120-foot range.
So if we were to draw him out, and just because he can see us doesn't mean he will see us. If we can try and be like stealthy about it, but just something to keep in mind.
I also want to add one element to your conversation here.
Yeah.
The application.
Dark in here?
What? Sorry.
It's dark in there?
In here, in the room you're in?
Yeah.
In pockets of it, I would say Val probably has a fire going in the hearth, but there are elements in the corners that are shadowy.
I shall cast one with shadows.
And you're just...
Gord just slips into the darkness.
Oh, Gord did the creepy shadow thing again.
On the topic of etherealness, though, Val, you also recall, and everyone does recall, but Val, just as you're kind of going through the motions of this plan, to apply the oil of etherealness takes 10 minutes.
Good note.
So it's not going to be a quick whoop ethereal. It is going to take prep time either on the way in, and if you're talking about using it on the way out, you will need 10 minutes in which you can do that.
That's true. If we're in a fight, if this isn't like a get out of jail quick, this is like, oh fuck.
Also, you rolled a 20. I'm gonna give you a bunch of shit.
Give it all, baby.
Etherealness can be blocked. Etherealness doesn't go through everything. You've experienced things that block etherealness. There are not simple spells, relatively powerful spells that block etherealness. Walls. You've encountered walls of force that you couldn't break through.
That's right. Yeah.
There are other ways to negate anti-magic fields, would shut down the effects of an etherealness.
Mind Flare, Little Gaze would do it probably.
There's a couple of things, Beholder, but there's a couple of things that would shut down magically enhanced abilities like this. But something like a wall of force, when you're talking about breaking into a vault, you can imagine that level of threat being involved. So it may not be as simple as slip through the whole 9 and away you go. So just something to consider. It's certainly a tool, but you may need to learn more about your surroundings, your threats, your opportunities here in where you use it.
Don't you guys feel like, you tell me, I feel like it'd be better to use it for you guys going in because you can control, you have 10 minutes to be safe, like protected, and then use it to try and get as far in as you can. If knowing this is a vault, knowing it's probably going to be on lock, like you can get as close as you can, then trying to use it on the way out. Like, I feel like you'll have either killed the general, which I am upset that I would miss, or you would have stolen the book, which would give you who knows, like what power of a Eugalis, like who fucking knows, but you will be wanting to get out of there quick. And I think there's faster ways for you to get out quick. In chatting with Brawley, she told me how Gord, you transformed into a huge fucking dragon to fly us out of that general attack. I mean, possibilities like that.
The other thing to keep in mind is, this may be wishful thinking. The goal is to eliminate the threat, how many of those followers are going to fight to the death after that threat's eliminated?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we're just going to be able to walk out of there.
But you said Coyote? Jackal? What was that asshole's name?
The Archivist.
The Archivist, that's right. You said he was pretty candid when he was in this room talking about how he doesn't want to be subservient. He only does it because he has to. I mean, he was very open about how much he despised the general but was forced to do it, so...
Speaking of him, there's still an option to get more information out of him. Get him to do another scry for us. We just need a specific thing to ask. Something to keep in mind, whether that happens tonight, probably not, tomorrow, possibly. There's lots of stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
It just might be because he was directly complicit in my murder. But I don't know if we should continue to trust him. Like, what if the general sussed it out that he even told us info and summoning him again could, I don't know.
He may be dead.
Could be dead.
Very well could be.
But we should find out.
It's just an option. Yeah, like, again, yeah, you're right, Hondo. I mean, if we might need to find out where the fuck he is, because if he's fucked us, that's important. Although I feel like he seemed to understand from what I could read about him that he gave up a shit ton of information, and going back to anyone is probably a terrible idea. Even if he gives them all the information, he's likely going to get killed for it. Regardless, this is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, another tool we have we just can't forget about is the Wayfinder Sphere. Val will like point to the bag that probably has. That can help us, just like with the Kraken. That can help us find where things that are hidden are. We have to be close to it. A magic user can put a spell into it to try and, or at least spell energy into it to try and, find something at a wider radius. But if you guys are trying to go down there and trying to find a book, whatever, that could definitely help you.
That's a good point. Someone should.
Mary, you also mentioned, I know you have affliction there, but if there's a miser Drake, the former dragon that used to guard this, maybe your dragon sword would be useful in the hands of someone in the party.
Yeah. It depends on whether or not it still technically counts as a dragon. The last 5 things I've tried to use it on were no longer technically
What
dragons.
is it? Can the Hondo wield it? Is it a...
It's a long sword.
It's a long sword, but I did give it the finesse property.
Oh, that's true.
If Hondo has proficiency with long swords, he certainly can, and use his dexterity, because I kind of made it more of like a lightweight weapon.
I'll pass it over to Hondo just so you have it for an option.
You'd have to check. Yeah, check your weapon proficiencies.
Where would I find that?
Yeah, I don't even know.
In your proficiencies, it's going to say simple and martial. If you have martial weapon proficiencies, you got it.
Oh, it says here you can.
It says, I have longsword,
Yeah.
For weapon.
So he could wield it.
So
What
just
a
if you
fucking
look in,
dragon sword on this guy.
yeah, if you look on D&D Beyond, Kevin, just add, or Kyle, maybe you'll have to send it to him. I'm not sure because you have to fiddle with it.
Power word kill dragon sword.
Dragon Slayer Longsword, it's called.
Wow.
It's cool as fuck, and it can really fuck up a dragon if you get up on it. But it hasn't admittedly seen much use lately. As much as, yes, we have to figure out a lot tomorrow, we also have tonight to figure out. So, again, if everyone's on board, I'd like to pitch the get in quietly, see what we can grab, see what we can fuck up quietly or set up to be fucked up. And I know Hondo's itching to explode something, so potentially blow it all up on the way out.
Ooh, that's a cool idea. Hondo, didn't you take a spell that is like a explosion glyph or something? What did you take?
Yes, I do have.
It takes an hour, doesn't it?
Let's see, where is it? Glyph of Warding.
What does that do?
So it says, when you cast this spell, you inscribe a glyph that later unleashes a magical effect. You inscribe it either on a surface, such as a table or a section of floor or wall, or within an object that can be closed, such as a book, a scroll, or a treasure chest, to conceal the glyph. The glyph can cover an area no larger than 10 feet in diameter. If the surface or object is moved more than 10 feet from where you cast a spell, the glyph is broken and the spell ends without being triggered. The glyph is nearly invisible and requires a successful intelligence check against your spell. You decide what triggers the glyph when you cast the spell. For glyphs inscribed on a surface, the most typical triggers include touching or standing on the glyph, removing another object covering the glyph, approaching within a certain distance of the glyph, or manipulating the object on which the glyph is inscribed.
Hondo, you could put if we get in there, you could do so much damage with this. You could plant one of your bombs, make some glyph that's like, open me, and it's an envelope, and then when they open it, it explodes. And
the casting time is 1 hour.
And has some material component to it.
Ooh, let's see, what's the material?
It should be a costly thing. Not too costly.
Powdered diamond, incense and powdered diamond worth 200 gold, which
where'd you see that?
If you scroll all the way up to components, it'll just tell you what it means.
It'll also be at the very bottom of the spell description. Maybe that's just when you look at the full spell.
Oh, I don't see it here.
In your at the top in the components, like when in the breakdown, it should.
Oh, here, yeah. Instance of
the only thing,
those things.
The only thing that matters is anything with a gold cost. So you guys have diamond. It would anytime you cast this, you need 200 gold worth of diamond to basically create the glyph.
Yep.
That's what's going to hold the magic. It's the same as like Revivify requires 300 gold in diamonds. It's a lot of diamonds, but there are other spells that require, a piece of jade worth this much, and it has to be crafted in a certain way. So like there's like prep that goes into certain spells. In this case, you just need diamond worth this much.
In an hour.
So do we want to put this? Do we want to draw someone toward this?
My concern is we might not have the time that you need to get it crafted.
No, you could do it right now. We got all the time in the world.
You can't move it more than 10 feet from where you cast the spell.
I mean,
son of a bitch.
Well, if anyone's willing to pull a quick night mission, we can set it up, and then tomorrow morning they'll be ready.
You mean for the next day, potentially?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't work for tonight, but yeah, you're right. Maybe for something after the fact.
If we get there and we're real stealthy and we had an hour, I mean, Hondo could just do it in there.
Yep.
Just something cool to consider. That's like a dope spell. Something
we can consider. Cool. It is super fucking
And I could
cool.
see you just doing all sorts of crazy hijinks with it, like putting it on the toilet paper seat, or like.
Oh, I definitely think we should put it on the toilet.
Oh my god, there's all sorts of crazy shit.
Okay,
that shenanigan aside, sorry, Mary. Continue.
Yeah. Do we know, well, I guess we don't. We should have asked more fucking questions of Horace. How many people are going to be there? You mentioned, Hondo, that those guys dropped stuff off there last night. So, like, more people showing up through the day or through the evening isn't unheard of.
Absolutely. They may be returning from their shift change, from a mission. Yes, they could definitely be there.
We could always do a what we did earlier, which is, hey, we're one of the coin. We have like a guy's robe now, or a cape, and some of the armor. We could always do, we have 2 sets of Mercy Killer armor. We could always do, hey, we're Mercy Killers. We want a little bit of coin to look the other way. Like, we could always try something like that. I mean, you guys could just sneak in a la when we did the hag break and enter, and you guys just literally just broke in and were just as quiet as you could. I mean, Gord literally just melted into shadows. No one seemed to notice it, but Gord just disappeared into a puddle of darkness. Mary, you're super stealthy. Hondo, you're shockingly stealthy. Boone, I don't know if you're stealthy.
I think we could sneak in for sure.
I am not stealthy. In case
the options are sneak in or you could 50-50 it. Look at that little steepled fingers. 50-50 it of we potentially bring things for drop off. Like, we have valuable shit.
Yeah,
we could have we could bring something real and say, hey, I meant to stash this. Where the fuck do I put it?
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, Raleigh and Val can bring us as prisoners, and they could disguise themselves as coin.
I'm still not good enough to get out of bed, but Boone maybe could do that.
Or Boone,
Keep in mind, we don't know if
I
they bring
am
prisoners
not a
there.
good actor, if y'all were wondering, but
well, no, you just say we saw these guys snooping around and we're bringing them in.
All right,
But why would
I
you
can
bring
do
them
that.
into a stash house? Right?
That's
We
fine,
don't
because
know.
we're
We don't
snooping.
know that they ever. Not necessarily. We don't know that they're stupid. Not everyone.
No, snooping. We were snooping,
Actually,
so they brought
No,
them.
but then why would you bring them further into the stash house?
Because there's nowhere else to bring them.
It might work.
It might work.
Stash
I don't
some
know. I might be
bodies.
a little suspicious to look at.
We're gonna disguise you as a coin, of course.
But, I'll
But
still
she's
be
a
short.
smaller coin. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah,
smaller.
of course. I mean, coin doesn't. They don't.
Discriminate.
They don't judge.
They seem to be very judgy. They seem
They
to judge
take
a lot.
whoever wants to join.
You have
That
seen
is
shorter
kind of-
stature
Okay.
races in
Okay.
amongst the coin. It's not like they are super racist on top of being murderous. Although
Though
no-
they are very murderous.
they have their flaws. I'll say that. There have been less gnomes in the last day. You notice.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But I
Thank
mean,
you,
the good
Barry.
thing is we haven't seen any like hanging anywhere, so they're probably still okay.
Well,
Yeah, well,
They're just hiding.
silenced and got rid of
Yeah.
quietly is the other
hiding
option.
in the gutter.
Okay, in terms of resources, that wayfinding sphere could be important. Anything else that we have resource-wise? Honda, you have some explosives you mentioned. How many?
I have explosives and glyphs.
How many explosives?
2 right now.
Are they like fireball radius, or we don't know?
From what I understand, they're pretty big.
They're pretty
Okay.
spooky scary.
All right. I have how many? 1 second. I have a couple explosive arrows left. I think.
I mean, Val could.
Nope, I'm out of explosive
I don't know
arrows.
if he could actually. Fireball's a 3rd level spell. I don't know. Can I put that in one of the gems?
My
Alright.
gem's a 3rd.
You can no. Your gem is a 4th,
Yeah.
so it can hold up to a 3rd.
I mean, so you could do a 4th level fireball.
It just to keeping in mind, and just in terms of timing, you have to attune
Yeah.
I know.
to it, so it does take an extra hour. It's
Yeah.
9-ish. You guys got time. Just
Is
keeping.
this something though that would
I bet-
count
you know what?
against
It's-
Valentine
it's-
like casting?
I'm gonna make him roll for it. It's a low enough threshold, and you're not in a fight. You're kind of doing
Yeah.
a preparatory thing, and a 3rd level is kind of in that threshold of like powerful magic, but you're not doing a 7th level spell. It's you're a high level bard. I'm gonna give you a chance to be okay with it, but you're probably only gonna get 1, 2 would put you
Yeah.
over the edge. But yeah,
I almost feel like Dimension Door might be better in knowing
That's what I
how
was just
things
gonna
go
say.
so badly.
Dimension
for
Door
us.
might be a good get the fuck out of jail
Yeah.
card. I know teleportation's a little fucky, but as a last ditch, 2 people can potentially get out
Out of a
real
bad sitch.
fast.
Yeah,
It's kind of it might be essential. Great. Okay, so we kind of need to get eyes on the building before we can make the most solid plan. But as long as we can all agree, trying to find a way to get in there, get our eyes on things, and get the fuck out. Do we have room in the bags of holding
For what? Oh, for stuff?
for stuff?
We could, because you guys could just leave it all here with me. You could leave a lot of stuff here with me, like Wayfinder Sphere, a lot of
Well,
the gems.
We should bring the Wayfinder Sphere just in case. But
Yeah, then a lot of the gems, like a lot of the like heavy stuff, you could just leave with me. I'll just make sure Horace doesn't.
could we
see it.
not? We could also potentially use some of those gems, or if there's anything else in any of the bags of holding, I don't know what's in there, as a backup of, hey, look, we're dropping this off, right? Payment, someone, paid their protection fee. We were told to drop it off. We collected all the protection fees from whatever district, whatever ward. Here it is.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's the kind of thing that would get dropped off at a stash house. if we can get somewhere where we can see the entrance, and I can get... Kyle, are the shops, like we're near the market district, right? Some of them are open late. Some of them are open late, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would I be able to, on the way, pick up a spyglass?
That would be an investigation check. It's kind of fringe
Specific?
into exactly.
Okay.
So
maybe like on material plane when there's a lot of ships or whatever, it might be fine. But
exactly, like you don't have a whole lot of reason to look long distances here. However, that's some shit that would be found in like someone trying to hawk a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Like someone who's just got like a cart of knickknacks and trinkets. That's exactly the kind of thing you could find there. And those guys are the ones who are open late for sure. Okay. So I'm going to get you to roll, but it's not going to be super challenging.
Okay. If we can get me within a good view of whatever entrance where people are coming in and out, I could potentially read some lips and find out other things that are getting dropped off there, the conversations that have, if there's a password, any of that shit. If we can find a place to camp out a little bit and do, even if it's even a half hour to an hour of recon, even less than that, we can potentially get a little bit more information before going in. Elena, you already used your disguise today, right?
I did, yeah.
So there's no more adorable tiny gourd kitten daughter?
No.
that was pretty great. Hondo, how are you doing for spells?
I think I have used a few slots.
Okay.
Let me check.
You have invisibility as well, right?
You had to double up your disguise to 2 first.
Oh, no. Oh, yes, I have. So I've used all my level 1. I have 1 level 1 slot left, 3 level 2, and 2 level 3.
Okay. Do you have invisibility, or am I making that up?
No, I do, I think. Yes, it's a spell.
I'm pretty sure it's in your second level.
Yep,
Great.
I got it.
So that could definitely be something that's useful as well. Maybe for some of if we decide to go the full stealth way, that's a good way to help our less stealthy party members.
Don't we have an invisibility cloak?
That's not this world.
That's absolutely this world.
We do.
We just don't physically have it.
We just don't have
our
an invisibility cloak.
Yeah, cloak of invisibility is absolutely an item. Same with the ring.
What was I going to say? Oh, can Val start doing unattuning to the scepter and starting to attune to the gem?
Yep. It's a pretty simple process to continue the conversation and just be kind of like handing it over, kind of just like back and forth in your hand, feeling the connection to it. So you're going to lose the dimension door?
That's what I want to put in. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. Yeah.
Oh, you're re-upping it.
Yeah, because I think we used it today. Yeah.
No, not today. It hasn't. It got used in the fight where Valentine died, and he hasn't been.
He's been dead since.
I've been dead.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can continue this conversation. However, let's do that check now.
Sure.
To see how well, 1, if it works, and 2, how worn out Valentine is as a result of it.
Is that something that could be inspired on or aided by in a party in some way, or no, it's too long term? Like, I don't have a way of doing it, but
no, I
Hondo
understand.
Technically could.
Hondo would be the only one who Val can't do it to himself.
Lav can. Where's Lav?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I would allow that, because it's the act of casting, not the act of attuning, that is draining. So yeah, I would give you if when you feel the connection and you're about to go through the spell, if you want to give someone wants to aid Valentine in some capacity, I'd let you do it for sure.
Oh no, do you feel like saying a few words to inspire Valentine as he puts some spell magic in?
Yeah, I could say a few words. I say,
please
get your ass out of the bed, start being useful. We've had enough of your dead shenanigans.
Kind of feeling annoyed, but inspired. I'll use that.
It's it's inspiring you. It's whipping you into shape. Hey, enough of the sleeping around. Hey, we get it. You died. Now move on.
The not breathing. What do you do? You have a D6 there, Hondo?
Do I have a D?
No, sorry, I meant
what's your inspiration? It's in your features and traits under your inspiration. What die is it?
1d8 for bardic inspiration.
Val, this is going to be a Constitution check.
Con check, you got it.
So not a save, just the
Okay, pretty good.
modifier.
But let's go the full way. So 17. I rolled a 15 plus 2. But let's just roll this d8 right now. Plus 1, so 18.
Absolutely. You hear the semi-inspiring words of Hondo, and just that the words that, like, they're not particularly inspiring, but the sentiment of
It's there.
you don't want to be sitting on your ass. You don't like
No.
that you're on the bench. And that does kind of fire you up just enough to kind of, push you through. You get through the spell, and it's a more powerful spell that was a higher threshold to push through. But with those words and your abilities, you are able to imbue the gem with a dimension door at the end of the hour process. Obviously, you mark up the spell. It doesn't make a difference ultimately because you're not going to do anything else. But even though you succeeded, you do feel drained. You're going to be going to sleep shortly.
Yeah. I think I'm done with contributing a lot to this convo.
Yeah, you kind of look like shit.
I thought I was looking better, honestly.
I mean, you look better than 2 days ago.
Here, take this, and I'll just hand it back to you.
Okay. Last question. When we do this, there are 3 options for that I see of how we make it known to the world. Option 1, nothing. It mysteriously blew up. Someone did it. Leave everyone wondering. Option 2, we did it. It's us. People kind of have an idea of who we are. Paints a huge fucking target on our back. Option 3, Mercy Killers did it. Any of those options sticking out to anybody? Just Alana, we'll go in a circle.
Mercy.
Yeah.
From when we talked to Cerulean, the journalist, and he said he was going to help us put the word out to rally the troops. I do wonder if this would give us more clout with the citizens if they knew it was us.
But it also may look like people have already been inspired and someone else is fighting back if it's a mystery. Let
Yeah,
people
that's
draw
fair.
their own conclusions to whoever they think either did this good thing or did this horrible thing.
What if
But
it was
we are
just...
terrible at doing things without anyone seeing us. Like, let's just acknowledge typically that would not happen. I'm just trying to think if there's something we can plant, if there's some kind of message that can be left.
Well, I know a
Some
message.
capacity.
Miss Brawley's been talking about how the general has small testicles. Perhaps that's something that could just be left at the scene as,
A pair of small
continuing a
testicles.
story. Yeah.
I don't have any ways to do anything like this, but outside of leaving, we don't have any Mercy Killer uniform or anything like that.
We got their armor.
Not Mercy, the Mercy Killer armor?
Yep, from the sewers. When I wanted to run away, and Hondo said, "Let's fucking fight, you cowards!" And
You
attacked
actually-
a bunch of them.
You actually have the Red Justiciar armor, which is not just your average rank and file Mercy Killer. These were elite. So I don't know if that plays more into the theory of how you want to play this, but elite Mercy Killers would probably have more impact.
I mean, if we can either find a way to get those on a body that's left at the scene and like kind of half burned or kind of half something, it looks like the best of the best were sent in to fuck up the general. What the fuck does that mean? If they're supposed to be working with the general, like that could cause a lot of confusion. Potentially it could get them infighting, which is going to benefit us. Maybe it means that the mercy killers will be less likely, if they're starting to get blamed for something they didn't do, less likely to come to the general's aid tomorrow.
All right, so let's do it then. That'll be part of the plan.
So we'll make sure we'll pack that in the bag of holding. Gord, what's in yours? Is yours full? Do you have space?
Just a bunch of body parts and shit.
I think we dumped all the body
good
parts.
question.
The key for both bags of holding was the amount of gold you guys had at a certain point. Gold,
Yeah.
and
We do
gems.
not have any more. We have spent most of it.
which is key because 50 gold is a pound. No, a pound. Fuck, I used to know this.
Wow, they have lifestyle expenses now in D&D Beyond. That's cool.
I've always had that.
Well, I just discovered it. We could leave. What could we leave here? There's just like a bunch of shit in there, like the Enduring Spellbook, the Atlas of Endless Horizons, the
What are these things?
Infernal Puzzle Box, the Skullcrusher Tactical Gauntlet,
Oh,
the
that's
Stone
all
of
this
Good
cool
Luck
shit.
Luckstone.
All this cool shit. What the fuck is a Stone of Good Luck Luckstone? Is it an
I don't
attuned
know.
item?
Yeah. With this
That's why
polish
no one has it.
agate on your person, you gain a +1 to checks and saves.
Yeah, when we get
have-
home, we gotta distribute this among some NPCs that we care about so that they don't fucking
fair.
die and these things become useful.
We have Thorn from when Val lost Heartbreaker, the little like activated short sword from like the gauntlet. We have a lance that I paid for and have never used. Fuck, good times. I'm gonna use that in the final fight.
You
by the
should.
way. That's coming out.
Just this non-magical lance just
Yeah.
breaks in the
I
first
think
attempt.
it's +1. It's
Oh,
not
nice.
even-
We're gonna
Let's
use it
see.
to like pry something open or prop a door or something at some point.
No, I'm gonna use it on Asmodeus. I don't know if I can fly at his face with it.
50 gold does weigh 1 pound. So however much gold you have, divide by 50 for.
I have 3,000 gold because I have hoarded it. This is my money.
Yeah.
So we can leave that with me.
That's
Sure.
60 pounds.
Okay.
So I forget, how much does the bag of holding hold? 500 pounds?
Got it right here. Let's see. Bag. Blah, blah, blah. This bag can hold up to 500 pounds. Not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. Bag weighs 15 pounds.
Yeah. So there was a point where you guys were pushing the threshold because you were literally filling it with gold from hoards and things. You, as you pointed out, you spent a good amount of the gold, but if you just kick out some of this equipment and some of the extra shit you don't need on this trip, you'll have no problem picking up whatever you find.
Cool.
Maybe you have to sift through it tomorrow or the next day when you're on your way home.
Remember when that fucking tentacle robot just emptied our bag on the floor and we just had to fucking try and give it all back?
Shovel it all
What an
back in.
asshole. Primus fucking guy.
Okay, well, we need to. We don't know what time it is, and we're waiting for Horace to meet us here.
Yeah. And I honestly might have a nap now because I'm pretty tired.
Yeah,
But
this
if you
this
guys wanna wake
conversation
me up.
could have continued like through the attunement process because it's still like an hour. But I just wanted to get the check underway just to see how that played out. However, unless you guys have anything further to say, Horace will be knocking on your door once you're ready.
Anything else? Hondo?
Plan stealth first. If it don't work, we got some backup play acting stuff. But then potentially, if we destroy this place, leave a mercy killer armor.
We're gonna hang anyone?
The night's young. We'll see.
So what if we Boone and Alana just to fucking we have a couple crimson coin cloaks, right? Someone said that? Am I making that
We
up?
have a Crimson Coin armor set and cloak. And we also have the mercy killer one.
Okay.
You only
I
have
mean, armor.
one full coin.
Yeah.
number.
So, I mean, even if someone's just wearing a cloak so that at a distance they look
Yeah.
one of the less stealthy people, doesn't hurt to just have that ready, is what I'm saying. Boone, you can't do anything to disguise yourself or confuse people, anything like that, right?
No, just punch him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're in the same boat there.
I did give
Right,
my
so-
cloak to that poor man, that poor tiefling we passed, so I could just wear this Crimson Coin one for now.
That works.
Smells a little.
It smells gross.
Our local scent artisan is on the material plane right now.
At this point, there is a rapid knocking on the door.
God, Horace. Such
Boone
a
will walk over to the door,
quiet person. You think you'd be
As
put his
you-
hand
less
on
persistent.
regrets.
You crack it open just to look, and he just like rides and wiggles his way through the little crack you leave, and like slips into the room. Just kind
Shut
of
it.
eyes super wide, looking all about from underneath the hood. Says, "You all ready to kill some folk tonight?"
Yes, although
Hello.
I'm gonna set some shit up ahead of time. We've talked a little bit about a plan, okay? And I think
Ooh.
you're gonna like this plan. I'm gonna
Cool.
put that ahead of time. It's gonna require a little bit of patience.
Not my strong suit. Not my strong suit.
I-
I'll be frank. Not my strong suit. However, I'm following your lead here.
Cool. We're gonna start with being quiet.
I can
We're
do
gonna
that.
watch. We're gonna try to figure out how the fuck to get in there.
Mhm.
Okay? We'll figure
Why
that
not?
part out.
Just the front door. I find doors typically work.
That could absolutely work if we can find a way to not be super obviously noticed. Because step 2 of the plan is to clean them the fuck out.
Ooh, okay. I like that part.
Yeah.
I don't like the part where you didn't blow the door open.
No. So see, there's part 3 is blowing shit up behind us as we leave, walk away. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
I'll be honest. I like looking at explosions.
That's fine. You can look at it. You can look at it as much as you want. But the whole point is, if we want to get the most shit out of this, if we want the most stuff, we can't explode on the way in. We have to explode on the way out.
All right. Look. Like I said, I'm following your lead. I'm gonna lead you there, and then I'm just gonna do as you do.
Cool. I'm going to make a very quick stop on the way to help us in this, and we're going to get the fuck going.
We gotta get going now.
We are going to get going right now.
All right.
The where specifically in terms of ward and general area are we going? Is this within the hive?
No, we're going to the lower ward. It's a lower ward. It's the Darkwood Manor. It's the old Darkwood Manor. It's kind of in like a residential-ish area.
No.
Not particularly not a particularly nice area. It's kind of shit.
Fuck.
But these like bigger kind of estates, things like that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The people who live in the area.
I wouldn't worry about the people who live in the area. They're pieces of shit. Fuck those guys. Nobody lives in the lower ward and is like, selling cookies and shit. Unless it's got like razor blades in it or something.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
take your
blow
word
this
on
place
that.
up.
Yes.
Easy. All right, let's go. Mr. Valentine, nice to see you.
Oh.
That was wave.
Hey,
Hey, Horace, nice to see you.
likewise. Yeah. How you doing?
I died.
Yeah, the old.
It was bad.
That's a
So,
tough one.
Yeah.
It's cool you're
You having a
back.
good time though? Last couple days, things been good.
Yeah, man. Just like I've been so involved that I haven't
Yeah.
been in a long time. It's nice to be needed,
Totally. Yeah, it's good validation.
Yeah. Anyways, we better go kill these folks.
Yeah.
'cause, like
Okay,
it's
Boone will
Goodbye.
adjust
Just-
the cloak and then follow him out. Come on now. He moves quick in those little legs.
he just scurries and is not waiting and is like down the stairs out the back door already.
Can you stop at the... Okay, fine. I will try to see if I can spot an odds and ends place that might have a spyglass on the way.
Go ahead and make an investigation check on the way out.
Ooh, it's an 18 on the dice.
Mary just desperate for a spyglass.
I just...
In a window.
Honestly, I should have got this in our first arc of our at-home
Yeah,
game.
that's true.
Why didn't I think to get this a really
Like,
long time
at
ago?
4, you should have had it.
So that is a 18, 28, 32.
Yeah. You guys are just about to leave the market ward as Horace is kind of hurrying and scuttling through the, not quite the back alleys, not quite the main road, just inside the first cut behind the main thoroughfare. And as you kind of come into this open space between a section of alleys where you've got just about to turn into the ladies' ward after the first little half hour or so, you do see the light still on within what looks to be like a pawn shop style place. And it seems like the perfect place for this type of thing. You can just see things are kind of stacked in like the open window. It's kind of just like dirtied and around the edges of the window, and you can just make out odds and ends, knickknacks. That's your place.
Cool. Duck in there.
As everyone just kind of halts, you go inside, and indeed, just kind of like on a shelf, there is this extended out, potentially gold or a polished brass spyglass, and it's the glass is not cracked. It does look pricey, surprisingly so.
Cool. There's no price tag, I imagine. Mm-hmm. Great. Yo, this thing.
I see this kind of older kind of elf or half elf, probably, given that he looks so old, and just kind of looks up, receding hairline, kind of pursed lips. It's a spyglass, yes?
I'll switch to Elvish if I see him, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting and pretty, but what's the story? What are you looking for?
He kind of just gestures for you to hand it over, kind of holds it aloft and looks through it. And, well, it's finely crafted, and it's worth quite a pretty penny, honestly. I'd sell it to you for 1,000 gold.
Is he bullshitting?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Did he say 1,000 gold?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have 1,000 gold.
Of course he's bullshitting.
I know, but
1,000.
I know. I want to see how bad he's about bullshitting me. That is
Boone believes it though. Boone's like, that's a really nice guy.
26.
That is the literal player's handbook price.
Wow. Okay, I don't have 1,000.
Just build your own in the future. Just build your own.
1,000 gold. Okay. I'm looking at my stuff to see if I can trade him anything. Mary doesn't collect random shit.
He sees the look of shock on your face, and just kind of takes it and just sets it on the counter and says, "Perhaps I have one of lesser value in the back."
Yeah, this one's really pretty. I'm a little afraid, carrying around, dinging it.
He makes his way into the back for a couple of minutes. You could hear some rummaging. Just boxes and paper and thing. And like 3-4 minutes later, he comes back holding a secondary spyglass. The glass is cracked, and it's tarnished. The sheen is not nearly as well maintained. And he kind of holds aloft and says, "Well, it was going to be thrown away. However, I could sell it to you for... material is still a little polishing. It would still be good. 100 gold."
Can I take a look through it? How fucked up is the view?
You hold it up, and the break is like right across the lens. Ugh. And it does kind of split the view. It's not going to be ideal and not going to give you advantage on anything, but it will give you extended sight.
Yeah, I don't have 1,000 gold. I'm going to have to take it.
Okay.
Never have I wished before that Mary was a hoarder like Hondo to have things to barter with.
I do have a Wyvern poison you could sell.
No, we are keeping that shit. We need to poison some folks eventually. I appreciate it.
We could poison some folks tonight.
Do we not have any scrolls or books we can get rid of?
We left a bunch of shit with Valentine, and
probably he left all that shit that you would.
I have an idea. I'll message him. Hey, Valentine, be useful and bring the books here.
He is absolutely asleep.
Not only that, you're out of range. You're well out of range at
I
this point.
died. I'm a bedridden man.
You're alive now, okay? You're not dead
Hey,
now.
come to the store and bring some shit we can sell that you really value.
No,
Mary,
I'll take the cheap
gold
one. That's fine.
for the shitty
yeah,
one? Okay.
100 gold for the shitty one. I'm gonna get Lavender fix it when we get back to the
Valentine just
material.
wakes up with a
Wait!
shiver, though. He's like, huh. Goes back.
I
At
feel
least it'll give me a chance.
hated. Yep, absolutely. You walk out with it, and Horace is just
itching to go.
Yeah, and then he sees you come out of the store and just darts, and it's just like over his shoulder. Come on, let's follow me. And
All right, slow down, Mr.
continues
Horace.
on. I do commend Mary for not swiping the 1,000 gold spyglass that you could have easily done so.
I know, but she's not gonna steal from an
She
old
ain't
man.
I know
At that time.
which is why you're the lawful good party of the
That's
party.
right.
Question for the group. Horace is leading, and Horace is intending to lead quickly, but to your group, it is your call whether you want him to slow down and travel at a slow pace to not draw attention, at a fast pace to travel quickly, but potentially draw eyes on your way.
Anyway, we could break that up, like, before we get to the lower ward, we could travel quick, but when we get to the lower ward, start, like, slow down and be more intentional.
For sure. Basically, you're only between, let me refresh this, but I think it's only the ladies' ward and then the lower ward. So
then, yeah, maybe in the
ladies' ward, lower ward. Yeah, so you would have one ward, which is the ladies, which you could travel quickly through.
The home of the people who fucking hate us right now.
There are enemies at every gate, essentially.
Yeah, that's true.
So just, this is the question, and it may have consequences. It may not. You don't know. What's the plan?
I'd almost be thinking to do the opposite. Be careful through the ladies' ward and in the lower ward where everyone's fucking sketchy. For the most part, we can zip through it, and then when we get close, slow the fuck down. But that's just my thought.
Well,
Guess
I
do
need an
that.
answer.
That one.
Okay, so slow through the ladies.
Slowly now, not draw eyes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get a stealth check from everybody.
Stealth from Boone Vedette. It's a +1, 16, 17.
21.
Let's have Val roll stealth.
Just to see.
27. It's not bad for
Well.
the kid.
I also
Like
got
in his
27.
You got 27, Brawley?
I got 27, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because I, not the last time I leveled up, but the time before that, I got a buff, so now I'm +7 stealth.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
So did you roll
yeah.
that 20?
You rolled a nat 20 then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick. Get it.
23 for me.
Okay. Horace actually rolled a 25.
Oh boy, horror.
I don't know if Kevin is still rolling or debating rolling.
Kevin's just
but
pulling up his app.
It's gonna be a lot, and your group is already stealthed, so you're okay.
Well,
Kev, I want to know, what is it?
Ooh, it is
Yeah.
bad.
You have
but it's
advantage
still-
on stealth rolls, though.
It doesn't even matter. His minimum's a 10.
10,
It
so
becomes
20.
a 27. It doesn't matter. Why ask rogues to do anything?
Yeah.
Anyways, traveling slowly through the ladies' ward to avoid detection, giving that note to Horace. He does take a moment of being angry before realizing many of his kin have been hung in this ward for exactly what you're doing. And there's a moment where he loses that kind of facade of devil may care attitude, and the gravity of some of the things that he holds dear kind of hits. And he does indeed begin to lead you safely and quietly through the streets, through the back alleys of the ladies' ward. There's a tense moment as you cross you know that you're nearing the prison and the base of the Mercy Killers. You do see sign of several mercy killers actively in the area, and obviously a higher concentration of them as you make your way past the prison and their domain. But given that you're in these kind of alleys and rolled particularly well across the board, none of them perk up, and none of them make any shift. Likewise, there's an open gap between where you pass the Hall of Concordance, and you kind of have to open into like this open courtyard rather than take a long detour. It's just a quick jaunt across open courtyard. But there's just that moment of holding and watching and looking, waiting for a good opportunity and sprinting across, just knowing the power in the Hall of Concordance and knowing some of your actions may have put you on their bad side too, that could turn poor. But minutes pass as you continue running and you don't hear any untoward signs following you. You reach the bridge, the gaps between the ladies' ward and the lower ward, and quickly make your way across and into the shadows of the high, kind of almost looming, dark apartment-style buildings, these multi-level structures of low income and just poor care homes, and some businesses that are closed, where you see many people out and about in the streets not looking particularly well, both mentally or physically. Here you are, immediately speeding up your pace with less concern. The people here, maybe they do see, but who's going to believe them? And why would they? You make your way quickly through here.
What are the, sorry to interrupt you, what are the like rooftop scenarios like? I almost envisioned as we got closer trying to scale up roofs so we could have more of like a bird's eye view.
For sure. In this area, it is very much the kind of like Gotham style jumping between roofs, like kind of slums, where it would certainly be possible. But Horace, as you're kind of thinking about that, does begin to lead you kind of deeper within, and you begin to leave this slums area and make a closer jaunt towards larger palisades and manors and estates. That being said, if you wanted to pause for a moment and like get a bird's eye view, you certainly can. But Horace does, as you kind of take a pause, right in as that transitionary period kind of begins to happen. He says, "We still got a little ways to trek. The manor is, well, he's kind of just generally, it's kind of like it becomes a little bit of a maze in here. I know where it is, but it's almost at the heart of this manor area, this nicer estates."
I'm gonna just keep following then. I'll like have looked up and then be down to follow. What were you gonna say, Mary?
Do you know if there's a spot, Horace, near there? That'd be a good place to get eyes on the front door, or potentially a back door.
Oh, sure, yeah. There's
somewhere up high, out of the way.
There's a couple of places we could take refuge in. There's some older like temples that are still in the area, and there's some places that they've got tall roofs nearby that you could get up and kind of do what you're talking about here, but just someone else's house, you just gotta be careful.
No, I want to get gargoyle on the top of the temple. That sounds amazing. Okay.
He begins to lead again as you scurry through the streets that do become wider and marked on the edges by pointed wrought iron fences. And you see some having gardens of like interesting, it's difficult to make out color given the night and the lack of light in this area. Outside the street itself, the lanterns light the streets, but leading up to these kind of manor homes, there are these kind of lavish gardens, and you can see some with like tall hedges on the inside of their iron fences that kind of block the view of what you could see. Several, as you're traveling, have fallen into disrepair and perhaps are abandoned, or perhaps are still being lived in by squatters, or just the owners who just have not yet to take care of what's become of their home. You can see that there is this interesting mix of almost a post-apocalyptic area of aristocracy that is very evident in this lower ward to be the norm. Horace pauses as you're getting close to an area that the road, so to speak, turns left and right and almost surrounds a large, what almost looks like it should be like a park, like this gated park area in the middle of like a square of homes and other manors and things. And he kind of holds in the shadows at the corner looking on, and just kind of generally points to the middle of that gated section and says, "That's Darkwood Manor in there. It's used to be a faction leader in the city. I forget that they were the takers or something, but they were one of the ones who opposed the general until he, so it's his now, I guess." And you look on, and it's difficult to see the actual manor house itself, given the low light. You can attempt to if you wish. But at this distance, you can see that there should be a well-maintained and manicured lawn and garden, and this kind of like, there's like a rock area for where there should be statues and things. And the entire place is just decimated. It's weeds that are long turned to husks. It's broken stone. It's sand. It's just a wasteland. And at this distance, there's a very faint outline of a Victorian-style manor, just shrouded in black, that you can't see from this distance right now. But Horace looks to you. All right, well, we're here. Let's plan.
Have we seen any coin on the way, or is it like really quiet on the streets?
As the
Okay. Is there a way to get somewhere to get eyes on an entrance?
You can see there are basically, like I said, this whole manor place is surrounded on all sides by houses and manors and things like that. There is the temple to the back that you can just kind of vaguely see. That has a small like chapel with a steeple. There are a couple of spots that you could pick. You guys will call it the southeast corner of this square. You can go ahead and make a perception check and see if you can just spot what would be maybe the most advantageous.
Not good.
You do have disadvantage as you have goggles. Sorry.
What was that?
I was going to say you have no dark vision, but you have the goggles.
It wouldn't. The first one was a 4. The second one would have been, who cares? The first one's a 4. The second one was definitely higher than that. 11.
The low light is not giving you any indications. There are buildings left, right, and center. You can make out the chapel if you wanted to try and scale that, but there's no obvious advantage. There are just multiple places to choose. So I would either say, if you're going to go north and be kind of on the back side of the house, that's the chapel. Otherwise, east, west, and south are just homes to scale, and trees that you could potentially just kind of position yourself up in trees. Just if you wanted to get a bird's eye view, just a higher vantage point.
What do we think about potentially doubling this, just to take half an hour, sit, watch, be within a distance so we can talk to each other if we need to?
I think that's a good idea, especially in case they got patrols or something that are on a schedule.
Exactly. We haven't seen anything, and that's freaking me out. I feel like we should be seeing or hearing someone. I can go on the chapel in the back. Decent at climbing.
Mary, you should say your idea that I could tell you were forming.
It was kind of a joke because we don't have the spells, but I said
Yeah,
I thought
sure
it would
we
be,
do.
I thought it would be fun to blame this all on, or not blame this, but use this potentially to scare the shit out of some people who might know the ghost stories of the people who used to live here. I thought that would be fun to fake haunt this place. I cannot accomplish that by any means.
Yeah,
I'm
you
more
can.
of
You're
the murder in
stealthy
the
as hell.
night. Yes,
No,
I can
but
murder
you're
in the night,
stealthy. You
people.
can whisper. I'm able to through my kind of tiefling origins. I can cast thaumaturgy, so I can make my voice go loud. I can cause harmless tremors, flames to flicker, brighten dim. I can create sounds within range, such as like a rumble of thunder. I can cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. I
Maybe
can do a lot of
that's a
spooky
good-
shit.
That might be
And,
a
like,
good distraction to
His
cover
mask too.
for us getting out. Because remember, we want to be able to grab the most amount of stuff with no one knowing we're there is going to be the best chance to grab the most amount of shit that we can. And then potentially that's a good cover for getting the fuck out of there.
So Mary, why don't you try and do a little reconnaissance from up top?
Sure.
And,
Does anyone want to come with me?
I would like to, but I think I would cramp your style. Maybe Mr. Blue or Horace, but
I'll go.
Pro. You want
I
to go?
could do
Yeah,
it.
you. All right. Why don't all three of you go and Brawley and I can just stay here and make sure everything's all right down here.
keep Gord with you. Gord has a good eye. So maybe watch this main entrance.
All right.
Find a place to tuck around a corner or something.
I should say you can see that the manor house does face down south. So if you wanted to get up into a vantage point to kind of look at the face of it, it would be somewhere along the southern street, the southern homes or trees or whatever. Hondo and Mary and Horace, though, are going to make their way up into that kind of chapel on the north edge.
That was the thought.
Okay. Throw stealth checks, the two of you and myself.
Natural 20.
Horace, no.
Oh, Horace, come on. Don't fuck up my natural 20 groove.
15 and 17.
32.
The two of you carry the silence as Horace just kind of tries to keep up. But there's just this kind of wheezing pant that you very quickly gather that this has been a long journey for Horace, and he's just not quite as fit as the rest of you. And he's just kind of gasping for air as he's kind of running along, just like holding a stitch in this little like kind of waddle run. And you just kind of give him a little kick and he and runs and catches up. But it's not the most stealthy moment, but the two of you are silent as you make your way, covered in the shadows, running in up the east side, curving into this chapel. And you can see it too is marked by an iron gate around it. However, there's an open gateway, an archway. And inside you can see headstones and gravestones kind of all around, and a closed, church. But it is kind of that Gothic design. There are a couple like gargoyles that kind of hang off the edges up on this steeple that rises up, that has a bell tower in it as well.
As creepy as this place is, it is absolutely my fucking style. If it was a different life and this city wasn't fucking
Dark
terrible,
Academy or whatever.
Living here would be cool as shit. Okay. Yeah, let's find a way to get up as high as we can. We don't need to be at the tippy top, but just a good view.
Mm-hmm.
Horace, if climbing is not your specialty, or if you're a little tired, you can always look out and chuck a rock or something, and if we hear that, we'll know to hide and get ourselves down.
He draws an arrow in his short bow and says, "Oh, keep an eye out, right?" And he just kind of gets low and just kind of slinks into the shadows of the grave.
That does not
Jesus,
inspire
Horace.
a lot of confidence for us. Okay.
Both of you go ahead and make athletics checks to try and scale the outside of this church. Hondo, you as well.
30, 20.
Okay.
16 roll, and my athletics is 9. 25.
Absolutely. The two of you make your way up this. Actually, it's quite easy to scale the exterior of this church, given the style of construction and design. There are many hand and foot holes, and even Horace probably could have done this, but the two of you swiftly and quietly make your way up and kind of flank either side of nearing the bell tower, giving you the most clear view of the backside of this manor house. And you can see now that you could see before, but just now that you're really taking a look, the manor house sits further back in the lot. So it's actually closer to where you are now. So you have a closer view on it from this southern side or northern side, looking at the backside of it. You can see it is Gothic in design as well. You can see multiple pointed arches and short towers on either side that kind of branch and make up this two-story manor home. You can see on the backside, there are on the low side arched stained glass windows. You notice, actually, before I get into closer detail, both of you go ahead and make perception checks.
Can I do this using my spyglass?
Yeah,
or is that gonna hurt?
No, you can use the spyglass and it'll lower the DC for some of the things, but given it's the broken one, you're not going to have advantage.
Yeah.
So perception from both of you or one of you with advantage as you're aiding the other.
Kev, you can roll twice if you want.
Okay.
$10.
Okay. 10 on the first. 2, so you're going to take that 10.
It's okay, his perception is really good.
Yeah, my perception is 14. Oh,
Oof.
and it's expert, so yeah, I already wrote 10. So.
Wonderful. As the two of you take a couple of moments up top here, Mary, looking through the spyglass and just pointing things out to Hondo, and Hondo just using your keen eyesight on your own, you do see the arched stained glass windows along the lower edge, where the few of them do show up, are barred and caged. You can see on the left side and some along the back that they're like these kind of curved cages around them that are maybe a couple of inches between the bars. It'd be very difficult to pass through. The design and the filigree and the elements to that would make this beautiful in this house are chipped and uncared for. You can see much of the exterior brick of the lower floor is cracked, and the wooden upper floors painted is kind of falling away. This side, the north side, you can see on the second floor, there's a wraparound balcony that has multiple double door entries. And the few windows you can see, the windows, as I say, are kind of caged and barred. But the double doors and those windows are obscured sight by heavy curtains inside. You can barely make out points of light kind of coming through the gap between the curtains, but there's a point to obscure sight on all sides here. Hondo, as you guys are just up top here, actually, you know what? Maybe it's Mary who notices this with the spyglass. On the eastern roof, not on this building, but on the roof to the eastern side, Mary, as you're kind of passing over with the spyglass, you just catch the glint of something catching light on the roof to the east.
Fuck. Is that the direction we came from?
Nope, you came from the south. I would also say, as part of Hondo's perception, sorry, Mary, there's the main structure. There's also a smaller outbuilding on the southern side, kind of closer to the gate on this side. And there is this kind of wrought iron pointed fence that surrounds the entirety of the grounds. That is tall, scalable, but the tips are pointed and somewhat serrated. But the back of the house to the edge of this gate is about 60 feet, so not particularly far.
Is there any in that, when we're looking at least from this side, doesn't look like there's any like cellar entrance or anything like that, like sometimes there's in these old houses?
On this side, you don't see any, no.
Okay. Just trying to think if I was hiding a bunch of stuff, a basement, if they have something like that, it might seem like the best place.
I will also say that's the kind of thing that you need to get up close to really look for.
Absolutely. Just wasn't sure if I could see it from here.
Nothing
Could
you
it
can see
be a
from here.
sniper?
Possibly some kind of someone else keeping an eye out. If I'll take the next few minutes. I'll radio to everybody that there's something shiny up on the east side. Just be careful. I'll count the number of buildings and like let them know which building it is.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can make sure to at least stay out of sight of that spot. And then maybe just spend a couple minutes just watching it to see if it moves or if anything else comes out of it in the area. I saw the glint.
Mm-hmm. With this spyglass, just go ahead and make a perception check because it does extend your sight a little bit.
13 plus 7, so 20, right?
It's very difficult to make out. But you know where you saw it, and you spend the next couple of minutes just looking, and you can see the top of one of these buildings. So like it looks like another kind of manor house. It kind of comes up, and on one side it comes up to kind of a jagged point where you can see a chimney, and on the other side there's another chimney. But in between, there's this kind of flattened area that has almost like a balcony walkout, and it's got a little gated, barred gate there. And you can just make out the faintest glint of some metal and a figure beneath, like a cloak, laying down.
Yeah, I think you're right. That might be something we need to take care of before we move further.
Boone is not on an earring, but Hondo could go in and assassinate that guy.
What I could do is I will use Whisper to teleport to him, stab him, and then be on my way.
Just gotta make sure, don't let him try to get his hands off the weapon because they're fucking
that's
loud.
True. That's
so
true.
How close would we have to get in order for him to potentially
I am a
using
sharpshooter.
Whisper?
So it's not so much the issue of you being a sharpshooter. It's that the angle of like he's on a roof 20 some odd feet in the air.
Mm.
And where you would have to hit would to give you the best angle of attack would put you kind of directly in front of him on the arrival, right?
I mean, you do have invisibility too.
But the attack would immediately break.
What if I aim above him and then drop onto him?
You need a point to hit with Whisper
Is there
create the teleport. And
no
it's
wall above
open
him?
sky above
Okay.
him.
He's at the highest point? Okay.
He's on the roof. He's on this flat part of this roof. Now, what you could do is aim for the chimney to one side and drop down and make an attack.
That could work.
It's certainly in your wheelhouse. It would be a tough shot, but you are a sharpshooter.
You could
I'll go for
use. You could also use Mira.
They're going to see a giant,
from the clouds.
super not stealthy. She's so not stealthy.
But imagine she's
Pegasus?
50 feet. She's 50 feet in the air. And Hondo just leaps, trust falls, and then falls on this guy. Pretty cool.
Okay, my other concern, we are, Kyle has pointed out, there's not like a proper sky because it's like a donut.
Fair.
Yeah, you just see me a building above.
I mean, Hondo, I'm not against this. We just got to really make sure this fucking hits. Speaking, of, if you really want to make sure what you're going to do is going to hurt, you just told me you have this fancy ass fucking poison. Why don't you put that on a Whisper?
I could do that, yeah.
It takes a minute, so just make sure you do it now if you're going to do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
To apply it takes a minute, but I think it lasts an hour.
Okay.
You could also.
It's only one hit on a person. It's like one successful attack. It only works once, but it's going to make sure that if you hit this guy, it's going to really fucking hurt him.
So once I use it, is that it? I'm done? It's done?
The poison, yeah.
One time use.
Okay.
Injury, poison, appliance.
Sometimes they have more than one application in the one container, but I can't remember for these if they're more than one application.
Injury, poison can be applied to weapons. Creature that takes piercing or slashing from an object covered with poison exposed to its effects. I think it's supposed to be like a single use.
I thought it was something where it's like one blade or X arrows or something like that. Like I can't remember, but
I think that was just Matt ruling that.
Okay.
But like it does say ammunition. Regardless, you can use it on this guy.
Yeah, great.
For sure.
So,
apply it. It takes a second to apply, but I'm gonna say it lasts for like an hour before like it would kind of just like evaporate off and it would be less potent. But on your first hit, like it goes into the bloodstream, you pull away and it'll be gone. So on the first official strike, now it's not gonna go away just because you miss an attack or whatever. He's gonna get hit by it, but there's a save involved. So you are going to aim Whisper for the chimney to the left, we'll say, and just drop down on him.
Yep.
Okay, so first things first, you are a ways away from this point. You have to kind of skirt your way around to a place that you can get close. So go ahead and make another stealth check. And Mary, Are you staying here? Are you going along? What are you doing?
I want to get somewhere I can get a half decent view. Oof.
You have advantage.
You also prep your bow, Mary. In case this goes bad.
I'll have. That's true. I do have like a ridiculous range on my bow if I need to. So I'll.
So much better.
I'll have that ready just in case. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll try to get somewhere where I can see potentially just a better view of the weapon or potentially his hands.
Okay. From here, now that you have an idea, you have a line of sight on him, but not in your close range.
Okay, that's fine.
So it would be your long range.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's an in case of emergency more than anything else.
For sure. Okay. Honor rolls a fuckload in his stealth. And
he got 19 for his second roll in case I was wondering.
Disappearing into shadow, Honda, you make your way down the chapel once more and into the shadows of just kind of like hopping over the fences between these different homes and just sprinting in the shadows, holding, jumping, sprinting, and you make your way to the base of the house, and you kind of always are keeping your eye as you're moving on where Mary pointed out that glint. You're kind of coming around and you can see the eastern side of the manor house that you guys are the Darkwood Manor that you're surrounding. And you can see on both upper and lower sides, there are long sections of like bay windows. Even at this distance, you can tell they are gated, they're barred in the same way as all the other windows. But there are, in the lower side, they're fully covered by curtain. But in the upper left, you can see there's a gap by about a foot that you can see inside. You can see the crackle of like candlelight. You can just make out on the upper left side, there is somebody inside, or at least light. But you make your way to the base in the shadows, angling up. You can't see the figure, you can't see the person, but you can see the house that they're on top of. And there's no light inside. There's no obvious sign of anyone living within. It's difficult to tell if it's abandoned or just it's late in the evening. But go ahead and make your It's going to be an attack against basically the stone of the cement of the chimney.
18
With Whisper, 100%.
Attaboy.
plus 14, I think.
Hondo, you line your shot, you wait, you throw, and you can feel the connection hit, and instantly you just become shadow and just reappear kind of for a moment, perched with like your feet on the chimney, your hand perched in like this full crouch position. And in that like bullet time moment, you look down from you can see the space you were just standing, you can see the manor now to your right, and you can see this kind of splayed out dark cloak or just blanket, this just black cloth over top of a very clear shape of a humanoid like laying down on their stomach. You can make out an extended metallic barrel pointed in the direction of the manor house. But given the speed, you can make out no further detail. However, you are going to make a strike against this person?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll at advantage.
So first roll, a 9.
Okay.
Second roll, a 19.
Okay. You definitely hit. Go ahead and roll. We'll roll this poison separately because there's a save involved. So go ahead and roll your sneak attack and your dagger damage now.
All right. So it's 66 or sneak. 1, 2, 6, and then I get 1d4, and then another 2d4. So it's 2. All right.
And also add before, because I just rolled the save and he failed, go ahead and roll an additional 7d6.
This is going to be painful.
Another 76, did you say? Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
1.
When I see him try to jump to attack, if I see the figure move or try to look up at him, could I just try to get a shot in like, I know it'll be a disadvantage, but may as well try for like the wrist or hand and try to do a disarming just so it doesn't like reaction pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm. You can hold your attack.
Yeah.
Right now, you're just kind of holding. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Total is 46.
46 points. Plus modifiers.
8.
Plus pain.
46 and 8 is 54. You, as I said, you're perched like Nightcrawler style up on the edge of the chimney and just twist and drop, spin the dagger with both hands and drop down right at the base of like the skull where it should be, shrouded by blanket. You can't tell exactly, but you feel the blade sink in and you feel the poison just kind of seep away, and you can almost smell that poison, like this kind of weird burning sensation as it like burns away the edge of the skin where the blade goes in. You hear this surprised like grunt and yelp of pain of a figure struck, and who begins to kind of bring his arm up around to where you have stabbed and is going to roll away. He is not dead yet. That did not instantly kill. Mary, you do see that he is not dead. You could release your attack, but Hondo is still not quite done his move. If Hondo, you with your bonus action technically.
Let him use his bonus action.
I'll do frostbite.
My concern was specifically more about keeping his hands from automatically like pulling the trigger out of a reaction. So if that doesn't look like it's going to happen,
if he's not dead after this, it certainly could look like that. So I'll look to you next.
Okay.
Can I use the Dragon Slayer longsword as a bonus?
It is not a light weapon. So
okay.
It has to
frostbite,
be frostbite.
So I roll.
It's just straight roll, no advantage. Ooh. With frostbite, total of?
That will be a total of 13.
Yeah. As you pull Whisper back out, and he kind of begins to turn over onto his back, and you just bring Frostbite down to strike, still kind of like grabbing up and like losing a lot of blood, just rolls out of the way, and your blade stabs into the roof, into the wood, and he just tucks out of the way. Mary, you can see the gun is still in his one hand as he rolls, and he's kind of bringing it up slowly in Hondo's direction, as you can take your shot at disadvantage.
Okay. 18 for the first one, and 11 for the second one, plus 12, so 23.
Yeah, absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's a strength save.
12.
I think that's going to make it 6, 10, 16 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm fairly sure that doesn't save. But let me just double check.
It doesn't, and it doesn't matter, because as he turns with the, like, just with one hand on the rifle, no, not his other hand is up on his neck. So he's just trying to like loosely point in Honda's direction and hope for the best. Your arrow pierces through his hand and like blocks where the trigger would be. Like one of the fingers goes flying off as it cuts through, and in that hand and like the blood he's already lost, the shock, he just falls, and the rifle just kind of clatters to the side, and you can see Hondo, this figure is definitely dead.
I'll go on the earring. That guy was a bad guy, right? Does he look like coin?
Immediately see crimson coin like colors and armor.
Yeah, I think so, but to be honest, it doesn't matter now. He's dead.
Oh, that's creepy. Okay. Well, it's good to know. We took out a spotter. Do I see any other rooftops that are flat like that maybe they would have another spotter on?
There are several, kind of on all sides. But you are no longer at range to see the south side.
Right.
And you just happen to pick that up given your high perception roll, and that like you were kind of in tandem with Hondo, and that you had the spyglass gave you that additional distance to see east.
I'll go on the earring to everybody else. Say, okay, our problem's been dealt with. Has there been any movement on your end? Anyone walking around, coming or going?
Here we will transition backwards in time to the other team of Boone, Alana, and Gord. Did you guys want to stay in the kind of alley spot in the southeast corner, or did you want to try and get a perception on the south wall or on the southern roofs or anything like that?
I think Boone knows his strengths, so he would not want to move because he's too worried about clanking around in this huge armor.
Alana, Gord, what do you guys think?
Yeah, my perception's not great, so I'll do the same if Gord wants to.
Gord can be
is good.
Melt in the shadows again.
Gord would be invisible here, no problem. Are you guys just holding the spot? Gord, what do you say?
Boone will be telling a story, just like quietly to pass the time.
Okay. If there's nothing from you guys, you don't see any activity immediately around you. However, one of you or both, two people of your group could make perception checks just while you're holding your line here. Or one of you with advantage, sorry.
For all you do it.
Which check, sorry?
Perception, please. Just to see what you guys can see from this spot.
I don't have any music. What happened to my music?
Oh, 18. Okay.
All right, I see you.
Right.
Not bad.
18's great. As you guys are just kind of holding this spot here, as you guys are waiting here and waiting, and you're hearing some of the response from Mary and Hondo, and as Mary kind of prompts to say, they've dealt with someone on top of a roof, they've dealt with a sniper. From this position, you don't have good sight lines on the exterior roofs. And you don't have a great sight line on the main floor of the manor. You're at the southern edge, and the kind of garden that should be leading up to from the edge of the southern and eastern gate to the actual manor house extends about 120 feet, maybe even further. So it's at a pretty decent visual range to really see any sight onto the manor house itself from where you are here. However, the 2 stories of the manor, you can see a decent sight lines along the second story. Elena, on this edge, you can see on the southeastern corner of the manor house, there's a bay window on the second floor. And you can just see a little glint of candlelight, and you see something shifting kind of back and forth every now and again, like not in a particular order, just as if something moved in front of light, in front of a fire or candle. So there's some movement up in this upper right corner. And as you're just waiting and Boone's just kind of quietly talking, Gord has disappeared into shadow. You do see this faint shift and then a glimmer catching the light, like a pocket mirror catches the light, like 3 little catches of light on this upper right room, southeastern room on the second floor. You do notice the chimney. There's a fireplace and a chimney that runs up the eastern wall from where your sight lines are. You can't see anything around the back. And on the second floor, you can see the same bay window on the southwestern window, like mirrored on either side, but there is no light coming from that side. It's pitch black on the southwestern side. But you do see what looks like a signal from the southeastern window on the second floor.
So, how did you sneaky folk? Are you guys still a ways away, by the way? Because I do not have an earring to try and talk to you.
I don't think you guys have returned just yet, given the time.
You would have. I think after all this, you would have just heard my message of, "Hey, we just."
He doesn't have an earring.
No, everyone else would have just heard.
Yeah.
Hey, we just dealt with that fucker.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen anything? Essentially, is what I asked.
Yeah. This is just about the time, Allie, you see that flicker.
It looks like there's a flicker on the one side of the building, the south side, southeastern, but not on the other side. It's like a flicker.
Like
Yeah,
natural, like a candle, or like a...
Yeah,
else?
just 3 catches of light going like that.
Maybe we'll...
Could be a candle, but it looks like someone might be in there.
What's across from that window? I'm asking you guys.
You guys look just down the street. You see more homes and buildings and manor houses.
Do you think maybe, if I can communicate through Brawley, little like telephone game here, do you think maybe y'all could sneak in on that balcony that you were talking about on the north side, the double doors?
We can try. I'm a little worried about what we might find in there.
Well, at least you could get there and then we could try and sneak up close.
Is there a way to get up on the side of the balcony so that we're not seen by that window?
By the window that Allie's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the building. The window she's talking about is the southeastern corner. The balcony is on the northern back.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought there might be a second balcony on that side, but
it does not appear to be. There's a little kind of curve where it comes down around the northeastern corner, but it's not. It's on the back side instead of Allie seeing the front side.
Okay. The problem is I don't want to bust in there with only 2 folks. If there's something else, we saw candlelight coming through, like someone's there on our side. Not necessarily specifically trying to send a message through. That's what concerns me, is who's seeing that and why. There are no guards that we've seen. There's no patrol.
That you've seen.
Okay. I mean, we can at least try to get on the inside of the fence, look around and see where foot traffic goes to and from. If they're using the front door or not.
You're muted.
Yeah, do that, and then we can follow up behind you.
All right. We'll go in by the side where that sniper would have seen, because they'd assume someone has eyes on that side. So I'd imagine there's not like a second set of eyes on the same side.
You do notice that there are no gates through the iron gate. There's no entryways. You haven't seen any on the east, north, and west sides. You did notice there was one on the south side where the rest of the group is, but there's no entryway otherwise. So you will need to scale the iron gate or otherwise find your way through.
I mean, Hondo can potentially teleport himself. I can probably try to climb. I can use the immovable rod as like an extra handhold if I need to. Maybe because you said it's super pointy, so maybe if I can get myself up on the one side, stick my arm through and kind of click the immovable rod, so I have a way to leverage myself up over without getting stabbed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Horace is just going to have to follow your lead.
Yeah, I mean, he can use the same thing if he wants, and I won't take it down on him.
Okay, so Hondo, Mary, and Horace are going to try and make your way up to the house on the west wall.
Yeah, just to try to get a look at the grounds and potentially any other points of entry.
Both of you and Horace make a stealth check for me. As you get, start with the athletics check, unless Hondo, you're going to teleport through.
Yeah, I'll teleport through.
Easy enough for you to just throw Whisper through. It's a normal iron gate, and you can throw Whisper through. Lands into the dirt, and you appear on the other side.
My athletic checks have not been great today, guys. 15 total. Bad for me.
Horace is bad.
Horace is gonna
So what
get
are we doing? What are we
stabbed.
doing out here?
He's got a surprisingly decent add to this, but it's not good with an 8.
Horace.
What did you roll?
15.
15? 15's enough. It's not pretty, and you're a little like you slip a couple of times, and it's just not quite as cool looking as you should be. But you're able to get up and over, and with the immovable rod at the top, making things a little easier. The two of you go ahead and make stealth checks. Horace is going to have to make his at disadvantage, given his poor scaling of the wall.
Bloody boy, Horace.
The two of you go ahead and make your stealth
That was
checks.
also bad.
Okay, that was horrible.
Guys,
And then
Mine's only a 15 again.
probably not even hanging back. You guys supposed to be good at this shit.
I mean, Kevin's is going to be a million.
1,000.
sorry, Kev, what was your stuff?
13 and
Plus
14. No, 17, sorry.
30 for Kev. It was a 15 for Mary and a
Yep.
9 for Horace.
Oh, Horace.
Yeah.
Should have left you behind.
Yeah.
How do you be good at this stuff?
I never led you to believe that.
I just thought he'd be a sneaky rogue. Fuck me.
You guys get to the edge of the wall. Hondo first. And you know both Mary and Horace weren't particularly quiet, Hondo. As you're standing at the wall and you're silent as the grave. As they approached, it wasn't good. if anyone was really paying attention, they heard, and it took Horace way too fucking long. So if anyone had good eyes on, it doesn't look good.
Great.
However, nothing immediately happens. Alarms don't start blaring. Nobody starts shooting. But you don't feel good about that one. However, as you guys stand on the western side, you are kind of in between two of the bay windows. They kind of come out on either side of you, but you can see that there are dark curtains covering the interior immediately. Like just as you kind of quickly look up, there are dark curtains immediately obscuring sight. What are you guys doing?
First, can I look at between, like on my way between the fence and the wall, try to look to see if there's regular foot traffic through here? Is it overgrown with weeds? Is it like, looks like maybe someone regularly patrols or like walks around this side of the building?
Yeah, go ahead and make a survival check.
Oh, no, natural one.
Honestly, it's
I'm very distracted by how fucking loud Horace is, and
Infiltration gang, not great.
It's too difficult to make out because there's no weather here. Like there's no rain to create mud. There's no real anything to really like alter the topography that you could make out easy to spot things. It's just dry, dead underbrush and grass that's yellow and dirt, but it's just scuffed, and there's really honestly no way to tell if anything has passed through here recently. Barely even you guys are making obvious signs. So unfortunately, yeah, there's really no way to tell if it's consistent patrols.
Okay, that's fine. I'll quietly radio back to Alana. Say, any more of those flashes?
You may another perception check if you like.
Have we heard them? Like,
No.
Is it that bad? Okay.
We're like
No.
around the other side.
No, it's not.
Oof, not great, 7.
Oof.
Hasn't looked like it. It seems like it's been, you can still make out the faint kind of like candlelight through the gap in what looks like curtains, but you haven't seen any other kind of like active doing anything.
Are there any basement windows around this side or grates or anything?
You can go ahead and make an investigation check as you kind of begin scoping it out.
Sorry, Oliver has learned how to take the grate out of the floor.
I was wondering what
Like
the fuck
HVAC thing?
I was hearing.
Yeah, no, he keeps pulling it out with his claws and then trying to get into the actual vent
Yeah.
because he's an
Christ.
asshole. Investigation,
Yes, please.
28.
Okay. Along the western side, as you're just quickly trying to gauge everything you can tell about this space, you see no basement anything on the western wall. But you can quickly just ascertain as you're quickly looking around. The windows here are barred and caged, so like trying to get in through a window is going to be incredibly difficult. You do notice the upper floor. You can see where the lower floor, the first layer of this, the first floor of this house, is brick and stone, and the second layer is more like a wood construction. You can see where the connections around the cages and barriers around the windows on the second floor are weaker. You can see that there's rot and it's not been well maintained. They would be easier to work through should you be interested. As you're making your way a little closer and looking around the north side, kind of back on the other side, closer to the chapel, looking more for signs of a cellar, you do see what looks like a space where one would be. And you can see like an open, almost like a stairway that goes down. And quickly, as you just quietly make your way close to it, you can see there is a stairway. There's nothing covering it, but there is a wall where it has been bricked and closed off.
I know I'm like way too close for this to, well, no, because the focus probably wouldn't even work. Trying to make sure that it's actually closed off and not an illusion.
You can push on it.
Okay.
Sure. You quickly, quietly rush over, hop down the stairs. Solid.
Okay.
Solid wall.
Gives me an answer there.
Let's see. What's your passive? Yeah, all your passives are super.
All of my passives are over 20.
You
Passive
didn't
investigation
notice
is
it
bonkers.
until you touched the wall. But when you touched the wall, it was solid. But you could just faintly see, after all your experience as an adventurer, you're not magic at all. But you can detect the signs and the feel of magic. And as you touch the wall is indeed solid, but you could feel this faint tingle of magic as you put your hand to it. You pull it away. It's not that the wall felt magic, but there was something around. You could feel that unfortunately, this is not your strong suit.
No, it's not. If I make my way back to Hondo, can I let my hand run along the rest of the walls, and see if there's the same tingle elsewhere?
Yes. This time, it's going to be just roll me an Arcana check, but it's going to be an adjusted DC.
Hey, I rolled above a 10 on the dice. That's good.
Better improvement.
15 total.
Okay, yeah, perfect. You feel as you're just kind of running your hand along as soon as you leave that wall, it's gone. And then when your hand gets close to the window, you feel it again. As you come around the corner and come back to where Hondo and Horace are, you feel that same tingle around the window. And then it's gone as soon as you come to the other side of the window, and you're back to just wall. And you reach out to the window closer to the southern side, and you can feel that tingle again.
Someone's set this place up so that it can't get broken into, or if it does, maybe someone might know. Fuck. You have to figure out how to get everyone else in here quietly. The quietly part is the part I'm concerned about.
Is there any sign of foot traffic while you're up there? Like of anyone coming and going from a door or anything like that?
You guys haven't seen anything from where you are, and Mary has not rolled a good enough survival to detect if there were anybody moving. At this point, you guys just don't have a good vantage point in your positioning to get a good look.
Well, I mean, if you want to weigh in, if you make the long way around to the side we were just on, we hope we took out their one eye on that side. We can't know for sure. Unless you have another way of getting in quietly. I don't know what Gord has up his sleeve.
I ain't very quiet, but I am getting itchy. I feel like we should just try and get close to them so we can all be as a group. Maybe avoid Miss Brawley where you saw that light coming from, that flicker.
Yeah.
Okay. Boone, Elena, and Gord, where do you guys want to go?
Towards that north side, maybe skirt around this manor,
Basically the same path these guys took to go up and around, and then just kind of loop around this way.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll take a couple of minutes, but go ahead and all three of you make stealth checks, please.
Fucking do it. Yes, 4.
Oof. Are you at disadvantage?
23.
So nice. I think I took the armor where you don't have disadvantage.
Nice.
I don't have a D next to it now.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't have the D, you're good.
21.
Okay.
Great.
The group check saved by the other two.
I immediately fall over myself and start walking. Clang, clang, clang.
You're relatively quiet. It's just every now and again there is just that sound of metal that is in this otherwise entirely quiet neighborhood. it kind of echoes off, and you just, every time it happens, you cringe a little as the other two of you are very quiet. Gord especially, just like moving cat-like quiet with grace. It takes a couple of minutes. It'll be like 5 minutes to like quietly make your way around. So Hondo, Mary, and Horace, are you guys going to just stand kind of in the open for 5 minutes? Because you're just kind of standing against the house. You're in shadow. There's no trees. There's no shrubbery. Anything that was is dead. So you guys have been quiet, and there is shadow right where you are. But it's not amazing.
I could pretend to play dead.
You can lie down, like maybe just try and be less of a target. Yeah.
I'll lie down and just pretend I'm dead.
Okay. Hondo just keels. Horace just kind of like looks around and is like, play dead is our first move? Is that for real?
Wait for the other moves.
Might be Hondo's. Can you remind me these windows that we're on either side of? Mm-hmm. How far up do they start?
How far up do the windows on the main floor start?
Yes, like, is it above my head? Would I have to duck to make sure I get underneath them?
Oh, sorry. I see what you're saying. You would absolutely have to duck. They are big, like, bay windows. So where you're standing, they're starting at, like, waist, maybe even a little above waist, but they're full big windows. Like, you've had to already to, like, duck underneath them. The one thing that is working in your favor is that
they're curtained.
They're heavily curtained, and, like, one of the disadvantages to not letting anyone see in also means you don't see out.
Yeah.
So for now, nobody's seen you.
Yeah.
That you know of.
That we know of. We also weren't particularly quiet.
In knowing that Boone's not that stealthy, just when I'm walking, I think he'll take the gun out from the guy who had it from the body or whatever, and he'll have the cloak out, and he'll just almost be trying to walk, like, sure, stealthily, but more like trying to have the silhouette of like a coin, just trying to like have the gun out, be recognizable, just be walking like that, pretending to like do the rounds, check things out.
For sure. I like that. Just go ahead and roll me performance or deception, your choice.
They're both the same. Let's do performance. It's funnier. 19, 16 on the dice.
Okay. Yeah, you've seen them plenty in the city, and you know the demeanor, you know the swagger, you know these fucking dickheads. So you kind of pull away from Brawley and Gord.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give them space, but not make it obvious that you're following them, and continue being as quiet as possible, so not to draw attention. But if someone were to look, you just kind of look like exactly like a Crimson Coin member.
Just looking around.
So it will slow you a little bit further from the rest of the group. But if shit goes awry, it looks a little better. It's still going to be another couple of minutes before they meet up. So Hondo, Mary, and Horace, is there anything you guys want to do?
Sucks, Hondo. You already used your fog today.
I could. We can't. I could put a wall of water that's a protection.
That is a giant wall of water. If we're trying to be stealthy, isn't necessarily going to be our friend.
Could be good if projectiles start coming in, but maybe not now.
You guys don't have to do anything. I'm just more asking.
Yeah, you can just chill.
No, I'm gonna try to. This is where having a tarnished, shitty spyglass actually comes in handy. It's not going to catch light or glint too much. I'm going to try to just use it to look at any other windows across from us or any other.
Across in what direction?
Well, we're on the side of a house, so maybe I'll do it in the direction these guys are coming from, just to make
exactly.
Sure.
Good idea.
To look south.
Like the area, if they're going to be coming around the corner, just make sure there's like not eyes or whatever following them.
Oh, look north again.
Yeah,
they're coming around from the north and coming back down.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make perception. Yeah.
Perception checks have not been good today. 14.
As you pull out the spyglass and just get low and try and keep eye, the next 2 minutes pass and you don't see any sign of anybody until you see Brawley and Gord just like right coming into frame. as they're about to like cross over the gate here. I need Brawley and Gord to go ahead and make athletics checks, or if you have other ways to cross the gate. And Boone, I'll get you to do yours now as well.
I mean, Allie's a badass. She can just haul herself over that thing.
Ooh, 23.
Yeah, no problem.
Almost a Valentine. Nice. 25.
Yep, not an issue. Gord,
Grab with my
athletics.
hand.
12.
Still enough. It's not a super challenging thing to do. But you make your way onto the other side. All of you together, continuing your stealth checks. You would meet up basically in the northwestern corner, the back northwestern corner of this house. So everybody would start to converge. As the three of you are coming in from the north, Gord is the most perceptive. So Gord, go ahead and throw me just a perception check as you're making your way across the backyard.
26.
Great. Okay. 26. With a 26. Gord, as you're coming in, you can see that there is that outbuilding kind of in the backyard that these guys had noticed earlier, but got focused on the sniper, which was more important. This outbuilding sits about, it sits on the northeastern side of the building, so the opposite side of where you guys are at. It's maybe 20 feet square. It's not particularly big. It has only one window that you can see. Looks boarded up or something. But it faces directly towards the back north side of the main floor, where you can see there's a door and a window as well. This window back here is not shrouded by curtain or anything, which is a little different than every other window here. And you can see there's some movement in that room. And as you're kind of coming up to the other side, you see that back door open and a figure like in shadow. It's too difficult to really make out at a distance, even though you're very perceptive. Just a figure makes their way out, walking out, carrying something, headed towards that outbuilding. Just as you tuck into the corner, away from sight with the rest of you.
So he was able to... Oh, so we had already made it past. We're okay?
You guys are all caught up, but Gord, just as he was kind of looking, I'd say, yeah, you don't see anything on the upper level, but you catch that someone is just exited the northeastern room, whatever that is, out into the backyard towards that outbuilding.
How far away are they from where we are now?
You guys are just around the corner on the northwestern side, so it's roughly 100 feet-ish.
Okay. Could we try and poke our head around and watch them move towards that outhouse? Like just track them through it?
As everyone just kind of pulls back, and Gord leading the charge as the one who first spotted it. You take cover and shelter, but then you just kind of peer back out. Go ahead and make another perception check, Gord. And you can give it with advantage as Boone is aiding. Or Boone, you can make your own.
No, Gord, do it. Gord, you do it.
30.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You see a clearer sign now as your eyes have adjusted, and you take you're in a solid position now that you're not running and trying to see this as you're going. You take a knee and you look and you watch at this distance, even in the darkness. This figure looks humanoid, dressed in kind of semi-tattered like suit coat and a tailed jacket, and pants, all dark, but like moth-eaten and tattered, and they're carrying something. You don't quite get a great look. They look smallish, like maybe 5 feet, and they make their way to this outbuilding, and just set whatever down outside in front of the outbuilding. You can see there are other kind of like piles of things, and then just almost robotically turn back and begin making their way inside. With a 30, as they turn and go back towards the house, you notice that they are not just 5 feet tall. There should be another foot on top of that. They are missing a head, cut off at the neck, and just headlessly walking back towards the house.
Okay. When they're clear, I kind of want to know what they dropped off. So could we just track them as they move towards the house?
Yeah, it's not a far walk. It's maybe 20 feet from outbuilding to this back door, and you guys wait. The door shuts, and you hear the latch of a door closing. It's a open terrain to run to the outbuilding, but if you want to go check it out.
Listen to the spookiest fucking music I'm listening to. Who's the stealthiest of us? Could you rate
that? Oh, 3 of you. I was gonna say.
Well, you're all together with these
there.
guys as well. Yes, you are. You're all together.
Oh, great.
You all, like, this happened as you guys came into the northwestern corner where Hondo, Mary, and Horace have been kind of waiting. So now all 6 are regrouped.
We should figure out what the hell that thing dropped off. That was fucking great. I don't think it had a head.
How would it function?
Maybe our plan to be spooky has flipped on us, and the manor's going to be spooky to us. We were going to spook them, but they're spooking us.
They're trying to.
An automaton?
Hondo, go. Mr. Blue, check that out. Let's see whatever thing it was dropping off by that outhouse.
Why do I have to do it?
Fine, I'll fucking go do it. I go do
Very
it.
fucking quiet.
I go do it.
Okay. Are you doing it stealthily?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll stealth.
5.
This is why Hondo goes in this.
I just start walking.
You just start walking, and like you can all kind of hear the shifting of. It's not
Crunch,
like
crunch,
clang,
crunch.
but it is. It's surprisingly loud. The dirt and like the hard ground under metal boot. It's not a silent thing, and you're trying to do it kind of quickly, just to like scurry over. And you do, and as you kind of come around and you kind of look towards the house, this room that the creature thing came out of, the window is open, and you can just faintly see dark inside. There's no light, but you can just see the shadow of something move past the window and out of sight.
Mm-mm.
And you quickly just rush over and look, and you just find like it's just like a pile of like rubbish. There's just like cigarette and tobacco ash in like it's garbage. It's garbage. You've old food. There are like empty bottles. Like this servant took out the trash.
And is this outhouse like a
Not an
sugar base?
outhouse, like an outbuilding, like just a secondary
Okay.
building. It's like 20 feet by 20 feet.
Like a shed or a garage.
Yeah.
Can I see if there's a door like where I put this? Is there a door near here? Any sort of
For
entry?
sure. Just make a perception check. There is immediately a door right in front of you. So make a perception check for me, or investigation, your choice.
I already hit perception, so that
I'd let you reroll it if you wanted to shift to perception.
No, that's okay. It's 7.
Door's right there. You noticed a window on the other side, but it was boarded.
Okay. Go to the door. Don't open it fully, but I kind of want to try the handle. I want to basically just try and see if it's locked.
Let me see if it's locked. I don't remember if it's locked.
Let me see how you die.
The door knob turns and it shifts a little. It's unlocked, but as you push it in, you can feel like a barricade, a barrier maybe it's boarded on the inside. Something is barring, but
Okay.
the door itself is unlocked. You know it could be pushed, could be loud.
Yeah. So I unopen it, just like take my hand off it, and then I start to walk back, trying to be stealthy, but carrying my same stealth.
Once more, you see a shadow come and pause at the window, but you can't make out because there's no light inside, and it just kind of stands in the window, unmoving.
How far am I from that window?
15, 20 feet.
Great. I cast Divine Sense.
Okay. Does it go through barriers?
It's you can sense anything affected by the hollow spell or no location of celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
It's weird because it's like technically total cover because there's a wall and a window. The window is see-through. You get a faint undead
Gotcha.
sense.
A little shimmering.
Yeah. Your sense also pings more something in the house. You don't, because there's multiple walls and things, like there's a whole ass house there. But there is a strong otherworldly presence
Sure.
in amongst the house.
I'll just walk back to my friends. Sit down next to them. It was just trash. But I have an ability to kind of sense undead. All sorts of spookies. And there's definitely spookies in that house.
Should we blow it up?
Well, I think eventually, yeah, but there could be some cool shit in there.
That's it.
One of the undead things definitely clocked me as I walked back. But it might be the guy without a head. So he might not have seen me that good.
Ed, how tall was it?
Listen, are we doing this thing or what? Are we just gonna sit outside this fucking house, or are we gonna fucking break in for goddamn sake?
I could disguise myself as an undead and break in.
I could fucking make you undead. This is getting infuriating. Let's just go up to this house and get inside.
All right, let's do it. And I run.
No, wait.
Don't run. The whole point was to do this quietly. Which door? Sorry, can you remind me where they went in to that outbuilding? What side? We are on the east, the north.
You're on the west side.
Okay.
You killed the sniper on a west building on the opposite side of the street on the rooftop. You guys have been beneath and kind of around these shadowed bay windows on the lower west side of this structure. You came from the southeast, then you looped all the way up around the east to the north and are now all together in the northwestern corner of this building, just at the base. On the northeastern corner, on the backside, is where this all just happened. That Boone saw this door and this figure in the outhouse, the outbuilding. Obviously, the main doors are on the south side of the building, and that's all you've seen thus far. Oh, the window that Alana saw is basically the exact opposite corner of where you're standing now on the second floor.
So let's go to that door that the servant came out of. I heard it lock. But no, I'm sure you could pick it and we can try and go in stealthily.
Sure.
Another option is the second floor. There's bars on the walls, but the windows, but
I just don't know how good I could climb up it. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty loud.
I mean, I can put a permanent foothold with the rod. We have a carpet, which isn't loud. It's just big. It takes a bit to get out.
Did you see any way in on that balcony? Is there a door?
I'm not talking about the balcony. I'm talking about, Kyle, didn't you say they're just second floor windows that are just kind of on the side?
On the west side, there are 2 second floor windows. On the balcony, there are 2 different entryways. You just haven't investigated to see if they're locked, if they're passable. So far, you haven't seen any light through them. They seem at least shrouded by curtains at the very least. So there are multiple access points on the second floor. You're just not sure what you want to do here.
Okay,
let's do balcony. Take out the carpet, let's do balcony.
Sure. If we need to, Hondo can get himself invisible as well, just to make sure that no one spots. But I don't disagree that we need to get moving. This is taking a long time. So let's just not bust any doors down, please.
So as you guys take out the carpet, takes a minute. Who's going on the carpet second floor? Carpet can hold 4 of you if 4 of you are going, but that's not everybody.
Horace, because he can't climb or be quiet worth shit.
Okay.
Probably Brawley in there. Maybe Brawley Gordon.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so the 4 of you are on the carpet, and Mary and Hondo are going to climb or are doing something else.
I can throw you guys a rope down with your immovable rod if you want to do that eventually.
Yeah, I guess it
would. That could work. Tying a rope around the movable rod so it doesn't have to like pull on any.
And I'll just click it in the middle of the air. Kyle, can it just be stationary in the middle of the air?
Hmm?
Sweet. Yeah, let's do that then.
Sorry, what to do what?
So
Get up
go
on the roof or the balcony?
Balcony.
Okay, so up to the balcony.
I'll make a note of which side I saw light coming from, so I'm not that side.
Tie rope around movable rod, real tight. Get pretty close to the balcony railing, and then just click it like 2 feet above the railing and let the rope dangle down.
Okay, so Hondo and Mary, go ahead and make athletics checks to climb this rope.
Check.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Athletics.
Natural 20?
It's my 3rd one on checks that it doesn't
waste them on these checks.
For.
Oh yeah. Hondo rolled 6. Is that an add 10?
So
athletics
is +9, and it's only a proficiency, so
that's okay. A 15 is more than enough to climb a rope. You guys are seasoned adventurers.
But Mary does it much better than you.
Yeah, Mary goes up super fast. You go up kind of fast. As you guys leap up onto silently the 2nd floor balcony, I need the 2 of you who climbed and are now setting foot on the balcony to make stealth checks. Those of you on the carpet, you're not making sound until you do something.
Yeah, I think we just chill on.
So if you're just sitting there, there's no way to hide, so there's no stealth involved, but you're not making any sound. So Hondo, Mary, stealth, please.
Could I try and move us? You could tell me how this balcony works, but could I try and hover us closer into the balcony, like closer to the doors, just to try and give us cover from the side of the house in case anyone's looking?
Mm-hmm.
And stealth from these kids, right?
Yep.
So Honda roll stealth.
Yep. And it's
16?
15.
Plus a million?
Yeah.
Plus
You're
17.
Right. Mary?
I rolled a 21.
Okay.
Nice. Low for you, to be honest, but nice.
It is.
So, you guys come up on this corner here. Let's see. Change where I'm at. There. Okay. Well, let's see. Interesting. Mary, Honda's boots silence his movement as soon as he leaps up over behind you. But your initial setting foot on the balcony, you can see there is just, unbeknownst to you, and you didn't really look immediately as you were climbing the rope, you notice it just a little too late is really what happened. There is some broken glass just on the base where a bottle was smashed. And just as you come over the edge, your foot just doesn't you just hit a piece, and it just skitters across what is kind of a tiled stone, and it just makes just a little bit of a sound. All of you hear, it's not loud, but it's just a sound. And I now need everyone on the carpet to make stealth at disadvantage.
At disadvantage?
You're just kind of in the open.
You got it.
Hondo and Mary have an ability to kind of use their surroundings.
Ooh, natural 20. But it's only a 21.
Money.
Disadvantage.
Fuck.
8.
8, 20,
9.
9. Horace.
Fucking Horace.
That's a natural 1 for Horace.
Oh.
Guys,
Horace,
this whole
Horace.
plan is bad.
Listen, this isn't the stealth team. We're not a stealth party.
So this is how we're going to play it, because Mary and Hondo, as you guys are on the balcony and you hear that sound, both of you instinctively know time to take cover, just to get low, because immediately about 5 feet in front of you, there's a door. There's a double door that is closed and you can't see inside of it. And making sound right by a door, you're trying to be stealthy. So the two of you just like tuck up against the walls and just hold your breath, hold your position. There's no windows along the wall here, but you watch as basically like almost like a little like peephole open, like a little slotty opens up in the one door. There's clearly been added to this door that didn't have it before. Slides open at the sound. And you can faintly see like candlelight kind of spilling out, and those of you on the carpet rolled very poorly.
We did.
And instinctively just pull the carpet up, just away. And you can see and almost hear the, what the fuck was that? From a voice inside. Mary and Honda, you can clearly hear, what the fuck was that? And you hear another voice just say, you're just fucking hearing things, man. Settle down. You get so fucking creeped out in here. And he says, well, it's fucking creepy in here. I definitely heard something out here. Help me move these boxes. And it closes. And you then begin to hear and the sound of heavy things being moved on the opposite side of this door. Mary, Hondo, and the rest of you, but Mary and Hondo are now directly here. What are you guys doing?
These windows, are they barred as well?
There are no windows here. It's just this door.
They're just these double doors.
Yeah, the windows are on the west wall. The balcony is on the north wall.
Can I my stuff was okay, but it wasn't great. I kind of want to try to peep through the peephole that, like, if there's like a letter slot.
Mm-hmm. It's like a little slidey.
To try to see what's on the other side, I can like block with my cloak so that it doesn't look like there's any light.
Are we, if I see you moving like that, are we like hovering above the door, if you will?
I in my head, you just kind of pulled up like 10, 15 feet, just like up to the roof level.
Okay.
At this point, I was giving these two a chance to kind of do what they want to do on the ground level, as you guys can start quietly, just like lowering back. But you can be directly above the door if you want.
If I meet your gaze, Mary, I can like nod at you for that. And then I'm going to touch my head and like the mask is going to start to like flicker on. And then my eyes are going to go a little bit like jadey. And I'm going to use thaumaturgy to cast. You create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, 30 feet. I'll do it inside the room, closer, like farther in the room, away from the door. And it's going to be ominous whispers. And it's just going to be like, and it's just going to like be a bunch of people saying like, get out, in like a children's voice, like an old person's voice. Just a bunch of people saying that.
Okay.
Very softly, but loud enough to be heard.
Hondo and Mary, as you guys are like taking position, deciding what you want to do, Mary, you start kind of creeping up to the edge to like look, and then you catch Boone's eye, and through the door in like this somewhat open people that you begin to kind of shift, you begin to hear this creepy multiple voices all at once, and immediately you hear the sound of like something falling and shattering, like glass or pottery or something, and one of these male voices like yells in surprise, and just like shoves a box, and you hear them like just like tripping over things, just like And the other two are not quite as taken. This, for whatever reason, this figure is more frightened than the other two. But you can hear one of the more stern voices saying, "Get your fucking ass up, you idiot. What the fuck is going on here?" And they just start kind of like moving about. Mary, do you want to try and look through the people?
Yes, please. I'd like to see basically rough number of figures, and if it's an enclosed space where if we could all potentially get in there and fuck people up, we're not going to just attract a shit ton of attention.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
12 plus, let's see, nothing. So 19.
19. Just faintly through this small area of this people that you're looking through. Immediately beyond, you can just make out what looks like there are a couple of tables and things that are just kind of piled up, like there are open boxes, like crates. You can see kind of like hay spilling out and things like that, packing stuff. You can just see kind of shifting of movement of a couple of male figures, best you can tell, coin members, but it's too difficult to really make out. They're moving quickly and you have a very thin line. The room is kind of an L shape, and you can't see the longer L to the right that would run along the west side of the wall. But immediately it kind of extends to along the northern wall from this door, maybe another 20 or 30 feet square. It's relatively small, maybe 30 feet, it might be even a little much, 20-foot square, and then you're not sure how long the long part of the L is because you can't quite make that out. You can immediately see, though, there's a door that is closed on this close part of this L in this like 20-foot square space where these three figures are kind of like pulling the one who's freaking out, and like all this stuff is kind of amassed. But it does seem to be enclosed. Like I say, you can't see down the long part of the L to get a 100% guarantee on that, but best you can tell.
Okay, I'll just, without saying anything, just hold my arm up so people can see. Just 3 fingers on my hand for the 3 figures that are in there, just to show people there's 3 people. Are they facing? They're all facing away from me at this moment.
Yeah, there's no one looking at the door right now.
Okay.
In this exact moment, given the thaumaturgy.
Yeah, I'll kind of motion for everyone the carpet to come a little lower, just so everyone's kind of in the same spot. When this guy went back in, did it sound like there was a click of a lock?
I would say no.
Okay.
Because they were actively about to come out the door.
Right.
They're just moving boxes that were in front of it.
When I have my hand on the door, does it still have that buzz of magic?
It does.
Okay. I'll take out Mage's Bane, and I'm going to try to dispel whatever it is.
With Mage's Bane in hand and knowing this sense of magic, whatever it may be, you just touch the tip of the blade to the door and you use the charge, and instantly you just see this faint dust. This like silver trail just like dissipating.
If I know Hondo is really good at perception, so I'm just gonna try to like, I'm doing this all with my hands and no one can see me. I'm gonna try to like kind of sign, like point to my ear and then point in the door and then like shrug, like question mark? Hear anything?
Hondo, you can go make perception if you like.
Yep.
Nine.
9 plus your perception, which is probably a minimum
Perception is
10.
plus 14, and it's an expertise.
So 24. as you guys are taking this slowly and carefully, the alarm dispelled, Hondo just quickly, you just kind of listen in, and you catch the conversation as the two are just berating the one who was freaking out. He's like, I swear I heard something, and there was something outside. Something's going on. And they say, well, fuck, go tell the lieutenant then, you fucking idiot. Jesus. And he says, I don't want to get lieutenant involved in this. Well, then get your ass up here and do your work. Let me just check outside. I say, all right, fuck.
I immediately lift the carpet up.
You don't hear this.
Fuck me.
This is the Hondo is the only one who hears this. And you can hear someone approaching the door.
So I'll take cover and I will attack as soon as he comes out.
You kind of tell us that's happening?
No, I'm not telling him. No time. Gotta be quiet.
Fair enough.
Be hovering with the carpet still then, just watching Hondo move away from the door. That's strange.
Hondo curls away from the door and you watch Whisper just kind of appear in hand, ready.
Oh, fuck.
Mary, I would say you read that same thing pretty quickly, and you guys watch as the door opens about a couple of seconds later, and this kind of bewildered, kind of like loosely gray bearded figure pokes his eye out. He's missing an eye, and he kind of looks out, just sticks his head out as the door swings inward. So he just pokes his head out into just openness and just turns to look and see both of you and a flying carpet. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go. No fucking time. God, Boone, we gotta get better dice. Let's switch the dice out for Boone here.
18.
Nice. Okay, so 1, 2. Oh, that guy's gonna be dead immediately.
How do I switch my dice? This is an emergency.
I rolled an 8 plus 12, 20.
It's actually low for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Dice. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, and Horace. Okay. 25 to 20.
25. Sorry, I couldn't get off mute.
And I will give Mary and Hondo held actions before this all starts. But this does kick things off as what the fuck did Horace roll? That's right. 20 and 15.
18.
20.
Oh, we're missing Allie. Sorry, I was looking away.
She just went to the bathroom.
I will roll her initiative for her, just so we have it. I'll just roll it in D&D Beyond. Alana rolls an 18 and a 20. Good job, Alana. Gord, what'd you roll?
18.
Okay, so Alana.
20.
Honda rolled 28.
20.
20.
20.
No, just 20.
So you actually beat Alana because you have a higher dexterity. Hondo. Alana. Gord. Okay, Boone.
7.
All right, Horace actually beats you. Horace and Boone. Okay. Let's switch things over to this here map.
Battle Cam. Long
Get
time no see,
things
Battle Cam.
Ready. Whoops. This. So. This. Parts. So, you guys on the carpet. As well, this is just a mess of figures all standing in one space, but this is how it fell apart. You guys watch this kind of older coin member kind of peer his head out as he pulls the door in. Hondo and Mary, you guys have held attacks. Go ahead with them.
Okay.
Just one strike apiece on the held attack.
Probably we rolled initiative. Guy came out. He's about to get fucked up by Brawley and Hondo. Or Mary and Hondo.
17.
I rolled with affliction. First time using it. 31.
Both
Okay.
of those hit.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage. Hondo, you definitely have sneak attack. Mary, you definitely have sneak attack.
Okay, I rolled a total of what is it? Okay. So 33
Oof.
plus 8, 41.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Damn.
23 for me.
Yeah. Hondo, you just spin with Whisper and stab into the other eye he still has. And he lets
So
out
mean.
a horrid scream as Mary just swings Affliction, and you're not sure if it's part of the blade or you just happen to do it, but you lop his head off in one fell swoop. The body falls back in, and you hear both kind of voices inside say, "What the fuck? Oh shit!" And two voices inside. Mary, you have first initiative, as you can now look in and see this guy's dead. There's a guy here. A guy here. There's a table
great.
between there, as you can see, and another table there. The door you can see immediately on the right side. And you can't quite make out what's down this way, but you can kind of see like that angle from here.
Okay. I'll look to Hondo, because he's near me, and I know he's speedy, and say, like, don't let them run. And I'll go for the guy towards that doorway.
Okay.
Like, kind of stand in front of the doorway so he can't get past that way.
Yeah, you rush in over the dead body, swords drawn.
Yep. And first one. Natural 19, almost that natural 20 for the lopping of the head. Not quite. Do you want me to roll all the attacks? Well, I guess we'll see how many hit points this guy has.
Yeah.
I'm going to bonus action pull up the shield.
Okay. Shield starts like swirling around you.
So the first attack, that's 16.
16 points of damage, okay.
16 points of damage. Kind of come in and try to go for his side right away, spin around the side of him.
Mm-hmm.
Second attack is a 22.
22 hits.
That's 15 points of damage.
Okay.
Third attack. Oops, come on. That definitely is 32. No, 31.
Yep.
And only 13 points of damage on that one.
Okay. As you fly in bonus action, this shield begins kind of like rotating around you and just giving you this aura of protection. And with what's your third? Oh no, those are just 3 attacks with affliction.
Yeah.
3 attacks. You just strike across, and you watch as he's like trying to pull the pistol out of his holster at his side. You carve deep wounds into his arms that he's trying to like hold just to protect himself, and one gash across the stomach. He is gushing blood, still standing, but not for long.
Shit, should have done something a little bit more with that. Okay, that's it. It's my movement, bonus action.
You're gonna end there?
Yeah, I want to stay in front of that door so he can't get past me.
Okay, it is now his turn. They rolled actually surprisingly high in initiative, and are both going to go here. He is going to... Yeah, he is hurting and immediately takes over. He's going to try and shove you out of the way.
Okay.
So it's going to be a contested athletics.
Okay.
Or acrobatics. I think it's the same as it. No, it's a contested athletics, I think, for a shove.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll athletics.
It's a
Oh, wow.
25.
Okay, you beat him, but he rolled really well. Good for you, guy. He rolled a 20. That's good for him.
I'll have, as he comes, the like shield just kind of pops up over my shoulder and blocks him.
Yeah,
and I lean my shoulder up against it.
He just tries to shove, but like he's just bleeding out, and you can see that the strength that was there for that one moment is just kind of fading. He does pull the pistol with his second attack, and it's just kind of like feebly shoot at you. At close range, it's at disadvantage. Oh wait, no, actually he's a gunslinger. It's not. Ignores that. Okay. Takes a shot at you, but it's a 16 to hit, which I don't believe hits.
Not even close.
He just like tries like from the hip to fire, and the shield is right there, and it just pings off the shield and just falls limp, and you can just see he like tumbles back into a table. He just lets out a whistle, like he pulls his other hand up to his mouth and just whistles. But doesn't have anything more to do from there. This guy here is going to run up and slam the door shut. He just slams the door, it closes in front of all of you, and he pins himself against it. He pulls the pistol and aims and takes 2 shots at you, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
One is 14, but the other is a 25.
Ooh, yeah, that hits.
25 will do it. The one gets through the shield and connects and just kind of clips your shoulder for 6 points of piercing damage and an additional 12 points of poison damage. Oof. It just kind of clips into your shoulder, it burns, and you see he's just like pinning himself and holding the door, just like holding it with his full body and weight, and just holding the pistol in your direction. Just, you don't know what the fuck you got into here.
You don't know what the fuck you're about to be into, man.
That ends their turns, takes us to Hondo.
Well, I'm going to pull out Whisper, and I'm going to throw it at him, and then I'm going to teleport, and then I'm going to... Well, I guess I'm close enough to do both. But I'll throw it to start.
The door has been slammed shut in front of you, so both doors are closed. So you don't see him.
There is a mail slot that maybe is daggers.
Open
Stab him
it.
in the butt.
Is there not...
Stab the butt. He just shut it on us.
No, I know there's a door, but it's okay.
Mail slot. Stab the butt.
There is a mail slot that is kind of like at eye height. So you could try and throw a Whisper through and teleport through that.
That's
really cool.
Do it.
Okay.
Really cool.
You pull the mail slot and throw your sharpshooter so it doesn't affect you. Let me read real quick. Let me try and be fast with this.
What is it? It ignores 3/4 cover.
It ignores cover, but it doesn't ignore
cover?
Your range. Ignore that. Attacking at long range. So you're still at close range, making a ranged attack because you want to. You can stab him through this, but if you want to throw to teleport inside, you will have disadvantage on the attack.
You know what? I'll take the risk. I'll disadvantage it.
Sounds good. You'll probably still hit, but there is disadvantage. So go ahead, disadvantage, roll. Go.
So first roll, 14.
Okay. Plus,
Second roll,
plus 14 or 15.
10.
What's the
Still a
bonus?
lot.
I still
Uh,
think.
And it's plus 14 for Whisper.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. The door is closed, so you pull open the slot, and you can see this guy with his head down, kind of like holding the door, and he just looks up, and you kind of jump and kick off the door to give you just a little bit of space, and you just throw the dagger like right through, and it does pierce him in the eye. Go ahead and roll damage. You don't have sneak because you had disadvantage on the attack, but you roll the weapon damage.
So the total comes to 10 plus 8. 18.
Okay. Yeah, with 18, it like cuts across his eye, leaves a nice like deep gash and embeds into the cheek before you pull it back out as you teleport, reappearing in shadow on the other side. Let me write down some math here. Yep. And he just, fuck! Get the fuck in here! That is your action.
And then bonus, I will stab him with Frostbite.
Bring the Frostbite up.
My roll is a 16.
That'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll Frostbite damage.
Which is 1d6 plus 5. Oh, 2d6.
2d6, yeah. You have a cold d6 in there.
7 plus 5.
Okay.
12.
12 points. Still standing, but you can see where he's just like leaning his full weight against the door to bear entry against everyone else. His wounds are bleeding heavily, and he's still kind of got one hand up to his eye. His pistol still aimed, now kind of bouncing between you and Mary. Do you want to move anywhere or stay there?
I'm inside now, right?
You're inside. You're this guy right here on the inside.
I'm going to stay there.
You got it. From Honda, we go to Alana. Gord on deck.
Okay, I'm going to go to the guy that's closest.
So you can leap off of the carpet and towards the door, but the door is now blocking the entry here. If you want to make a contested athletics, you can try and kick it in or do something else.
Yeah, I'll try and kick it in.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an athletics check against this guy's athletics.
That's a 14.
Ooh, I rolled a 14 as well.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, well that counts as like one of your attacks. It's like a big like shoulder charge.
Okay.
So you can make a second attack if you want. I'll also point out, if you rage, you have advantage on strength-based checks. If you wanted to do that, if you want to save your rage, you don't have to, but you can make a second try.
Okay. I'll save it for now. I'll save my rage for now.
Just
you
a
guys
second.
don't seem very tough.
Absolutely.
So I'll
Do
just
it again.
17 damage. Or sorry, 17 to hit.
Okay, let's see. No, that is an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, on the second one, your first one, you slam in, and you both just kind of collide, and just like angry, you drive back up and just high kick, boom, you kick the door, and you feel it splinter, and this guy gets pushed up onto the table before he kind of has pushed out of the way. The door is now open, and you can make your way in and fight him.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there was 2 attacks to do that, so I think that is your full attack action.
Okay.
You have a bonus, and you've used only 10 feet of movement. Do you want to stay there, or do you want to move any further?
No, I'm good. I'm going to stay there.
You got it. Gord, we're to you.
Where's the closest enemy to me?
As you come down into the doorway, this guy is 10 feet away from you, and this guy is 15 feet away from you. So equidistant, really.
Are they all like equal level, or like who's the strongest?
They both look like they've taken some beatings and are both on death's door. These guys aren't super strong.
not going to take much to murder these folks.
Oh,
so
okay.
don't worry about your big stuff just yet.
Yeah, I was gonna do something dope, but I don't want to waste it.
You guys can also now see into the other side.
I will do Steel Wind Strike.
Oh shit! Okay.
Always
go
the
ahead.
best.
Make
Always
2
a crowd
attacks.
pleaser.
2 spell attacks. Is 2
That's a
targets.
30.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit one. Go for the other.
That's a 25.
Yeah, both hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's a 33.
Yeah. Gord just like steps into the room, and in a whirlwind, both of these guys are just eviscerated and drop in pieces to the ground. As you look about the space, you can see that this room is stuffed. It's full of things. Like an overstuffed pantry. The walls are full of shelves overflowing with like food. And you can see sacks of spices, grains, crates full of bottles of various sizes and colors, several large casks of ale, mead. In the middle of the room, you can see there are tables that you see these guys were working at. And you can see goods were being sorted or packed or unpacked into open boxes and crates, you're not sure. At the turn, now that you have killed these men, you can kind of look and see. It continues with an exorbitant collection of goods. The interior is lit by several kind of hanging lanterns and lit candles across the work surfaces. And there's just like, it's honestly like the biggest pantry you've ever seen. Like it's just full of food and goods to consume, goods that would be created by people. As this moment passes, in the wake of their deaths and this alarm, the shouting that they put out, you hear this scratching at the door, heavy scratches, and this kind of like of something big on the other side of the door that Mary, you're standing beside.
Ooh, you're creepy undead shit. Picking anything up here?
Can you say that again? I think it was too quiet for some reason.
I said, Boone, you're creepy undead shit. Picking anything up here?
Good call. I'll take a moment. I'll just walk into the room. Didn't even get to do anything. Kind of just take a moment and cast that sense out. Though if people have cover, it might not work. But we'll see. I
just wasn't sure how long it lasted for. I know you just
Before
did
you
it, but it might be over.
Well, it doesn't last that long, but
Oh.
before you use it, you would know that there's too big of a barrier to see. Either the door has to be opened or some other way you have to see through. This would be too much of a barrier to see. You could get a vague sense if you wanted to try, but
Nah, could I instead like go to the railing after I hear that like thing, like whatever? I'll go to the railing and like aim my hand down and cast thaumaturgy down there, and I will just make an instantaneous sound like just like a scream, like scream.
okay. In the wake of that sound of pawing claws at this door gets louder, and you can actually hear the sounds of several chairs just scraping and feet movement. There's a sudden flurry of activity about the house. In the wake of what just happened up here, the sound of the bodies hitting the floor, and then this scream. Whatever quiet was in this house is now no longer there.
But
Mary, you feel the door buckle against you, and it's a huge crack in it.
I'm going to cast thaumaturgy again and make my voice 3 times as loud. And I'm going to say,
you came for the Taker's home, and now We will take your heads.
Okay. You call that out, and it rings out as the door splatters inwards. Mary, you are pushed away as this heaping behemoth of what looks like a four-legged, fleshy dog. This massive, spiked tongue from just this ovular mouth. There are no eyes, just an open mouth dripping with saliva. Its exterior is like hardened shell, and it just the tongue lashes out. And keeping your initiative, the battle begins once more.
Sick. Let's fucking do it.
Where's Horace?
He's in the carpet.
Okay, I
We
wasn't
didn't
sure
have a
if he was
chance to
still
do
there.
it.
He's like, oh shit, this is really fucking cool.
So many maps.
Maps on maps, baby.
You can see into the next room where I need a bigger base.
Never have we ever once done a full stealth. You know what? I think we did. Didn't we do it once? It was kind of quiet.
The hag
was
one
it?
went great. The hag one went great. Unfortunately, there's no video record of that break and enter. That was just for us.
But this creature,
It was a great success.
smashes through the door and is going to use its tongue attack against Mary. Because you're right there.
Ew, a tongue attack?
Yeah,
That's
it's
so disgusting.
its tongue just lashes out, and you can see it's like spiked, and it whips out in your range.
It's
Thank
so
you.
gross.
Let's see. Yeah, that is a 23.
That is my AC. Fucking shield, do something.
I mean, it protected you pretty well. This just happened to be a good roll. Okay, 23. You suffer 17 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the tongue wraps around you, grappling you,
No.
and pulls you in. It like holds you at its mouth. You are restrained by the tongue,
Super gross.
and it pulls you back into this room,
Yucky.
holding you in its space. In this room, it's dark and unlit. You can see boxes and like kind of fabric across the floor. The wallpaper is shredded, and a door directly south that is currently closed, and two doors that would lead off to the balcony that are barricaded by boxes and things. That is going to take us to your turn, Mary.
Yeah, gross. This is disgusting. So I have disadvantage on attacks, right?
You are restrained. Your speed is 0. You have disadvantage on attacks, and the attacks against you have advantage. You have disadvantage on dex saves.
Okay. I guess I'll try to break out of this.
Okay. Using your action, you can make a athletics or acrobatics check.
Okay, I'm gonna do acrobatics. That's better. 24.
24 succeeds. You manage to just kind of wriggle out, covered in the saliva, landing on the ground, rolling away, and are free. It does cost your action.
Yeah. It's gonna go. Okay. Fuck that. I don't know if I really actually have any good bonus actions here. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to have to do that with my turn. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to bonus action disengage.
Okay.
And back out of this room again. Who feels like fucking up a really weird insect dog thing?
I do.
That's it. It's my turn.
Okay.
Who wants shish kebab?
That takes us to Honda.
Time to eat, folks.
Not the
I'll
first
throw-
time you've done something
So I'll
like
throw
this.
Whisper,
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
and my roll is 15.
Yeah, you definitely hit with the bonuses. Go ahead and roll damage.
Do I get sneak with this?
Unfortunately, no. You don't have any advantage on the attack, and the creature's aware of you.
All right. Well, simple 8 and 6, 14.
14 points. You got it. And you feel as you throw Whisper, and just that moment to teleport alongside doesn't come. Whisper connects, and Whisper returns to your hand, but the opportunity to travel with it doesn't seem to work.
What magic is this crap?
That is your attack. You have a bonus action and 5, 10, 20 feet of movement left. What do you want to do?
I'm going to. Yeah, I'll move and I'll attack.
Do. Go ahead.
So I roll.
Bonus action, frostbite.
Roll is a 17.
Yeah, definitely hits. Go ahead and roll frostbite damage.
All right, I think that was 2d6. And it comes to a 7 plus 5.
Okay.
12.
12 points. You got it. Perfect. Yeah, you strike, and as you do strike, you feel the cold of Whisper not quite having the effect on this creature as you'd like. It doesn't seem as perturbed by Whisper. Or by Frostbite, sorry. That is your full turn. That's going to end your turn. Take us to Alana.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with a swing and try and attack.
You got it.
Okay.
Are you going to throw? Because currently you need to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can't get up on it physically. Or wait, what's your
Okay.
speed?
I think it's 40.
Yeah, if it's 40, you can get there.
Yeah.
Yep, then you can get right up on it.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that. 20 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay.
Damage.
First one is 18 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you bring the hammer down, and it just like begins kind of like just writhing back from the pain, but not backing down, just like pulling back in response to it, but just like standing its ground, this heavy, thick creature. Go ahead for attack number 2.
Okay. Okay, 24 to hit.
Yeah, it definitely hits. Go ahead.
Okay. And 16 damage.
Okay. It is. Oh, is that right? Still standing strong. But yeah, with each attack, you're seeing some of the carapace kind of crack and break and turn brittle, and you're just seeing this kind of pinky flesh exposed underneath. But it is not backing down. That is your attack and your full move. Do you want to do anything with the bonus?
Yeah, I'm going to use Unwavering Mark and mark them.
Mark it. Got it. Unwavering mark. Comes out. And that will end your turn. Take us to Gord.
I will go over to that guy. Ali was just attacking. and do penance stare.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Does the target need to see you for that? Doesn't seem to say so. Okie dokie. Charisma save coming up. $13 on the dice for a total of 14 is a fail. Oh wait, he has advantage on that. Hang on. Oh, that's worse. Fail.
10d8 rolling. 49.
49 points of damage. As Gord enters the room, you guys feel this like cold and uncaring sense just like carrying with him. What little light is in the room beyond just flickers and faintly dims as this Raven Queen inspired penance stare brings this creature to its knees. It drops. It like vomits up this black ichor. And though it doesn't have eyes, it is trying to expel its innate evil from it. But it's still standing. It's not dead yet. That is your action, Gord. Anything for a bonus? What's your full move there?
Life tail?
Do I have it?
I think so. You got it back.
But you're not in range, unfortunately.
No, I'm good.
Okay. That ends Gord's turn. We'll take us to Horace.
Come on, Horace.
Hop up on the table and try and shoot his short bow over the crowd. If he misses, he's got a whole bunch of people he could hit. Let's see. That was not good, Horace. A 15 does miss. Unfortunately.
Horace, come on.
Let's see. Gord, does a 15 hit you?
Uh-oh.
No.
The three of you in the room watches this arrow just skates by Gord. It like hits your whiskers. Hondo, it like almost clips the side of like your armor. Alana, it just kind of bounces off Hondo and near past you and like tumbles against the creature, not making any real deadly contact. And you hear Horace just like, oh shit, sorry. That's gonna end his turn. And take us to Boone.
Booney boy. Okay, I walk in. Just try and get me there.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Don't really have range stuff. I guess I'll just use my full action to walk to the other side of Brawley, like to that door.
Yeah.
And then, is that door open or closed?
That door is closed.
Would you allow me to try and open it?
Yeah.
Where did the doggy burst in from?
Doggy was in this room.
Okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely. You just kind of quickly like jiggle this door as you reach it, and it is locked.
Okay. If I still have some move, I'll just go one more to the corner so that if anyone wants to shoot through that door, they wouldn't hit me. And then that's pretty much it. I don't even think I have bonuses. Let me just check. No, mine are like attack focused.
No worries.
So yeah, I'll just like slide over that door and have regrets out just ready.
At the ready, you're in position with this creature, and you are perfectly prepared for the sound of the door key in lock. And you can hear the shifting of metal on metal as the door opens and swings in. Let's see.
Swings in our way or swings in to that hall?
He's going to swing in your way.
Okay.
As see a group of using coin beginning to make their way up. This figure immediately here, the door swings in and swings in basically into Boone, like would collide with you if you hadn't taken like a safe stance. But as he rushes in, just sees Allie because you were hidden by the door, and is going to make 2 attacks against Alana. Just rushes in, pistol drawn, and just like quick fires 2. The first is a 16, and the second is a 14.
Nope, doesn't hit.
So on the first, you suffer 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And an additional 14 points of poison damage.
Ooh, okay.
On the second, the shot glances wide, and this figure kind of quickly looks across the room, sees Elena, Hondo, Gord, and kind of barely sees Mary through the door to the other room, and just calls out to the others, "We got intruders!" And is just pulling back. Both Alana and Boone get attacks of opportunity.
Yes, give it
to
me. $22.
22 will hit.
Nice.
18 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage.
20.
20 points.
Oh no, not that one. 4 radiant and 11 normal, so 15 total.
Got it. Okay. This guy with
But
2
actually,
shots.
because of my Relentless Avenger, when you hit a creature with opportunity attack, you can move up to half your speed immediately after the attack. That's part of the same reaction without provoking opportunity attacks. So I'll move into this hall with him.
You swing the door, and as part of your attack, like carve through the door, and it just like splinters off the hinges as you just burst through, following and right in the face of 2 more of these mercenaries. 3 of them all kind of grouped up.
And I'll be like, with the scary mask on, I'll be like, not intruders, avengers.
Nice. The other 2 take their action. And this one actually it's going to run over to there. This one yeah, you watch the one to the right there, like has the pistol in hand, but with its left hand actually like goes down to a pouch, and you see it pull out one of these larger flasks. You've seen them use. Oh no, you didn't see this. Boone didn't see
I think
this.
I used one.
Possibly. But the rest of the group has seen the effect of one of these flaming flasks as it throws it into the room with a line basically to land right. What's the range? 15-foot sphere. 15-foot sphere on that corner Yeah, he'll hit. Can you see? He'd have to hit right there. So he would still hit. Yeah, it's going to hit everybody in the room, including the doggy creature. So I need Hondo, Gord, and Alana to make dexterity saving throws for me.
$11 for me.
That is unfortunately a failure.
17.
17 is a success.
I rolled a 6 plus 12, 18.
Hondo, that is a success, and you take no damage as a result of evasion. Alana and Gord takes half damage. So for a total of... Alana, you suffer 19 points of fire damage, and you are on fire.
Ooh.
Gord, you suffer 10 points of fire damage. You are not caught on fire if you succeed on the save. Takes half, yeah. And Hondo, you manage to dodge the entire blast. The creature before you succeeds on the save and doesn't seem overly perturbed by the flames, kind of holding its ground. Though you see the face, the mouth is singed and blackened. As that guy uses that as his action, and is going to just pull back to there. That's that. And the guy who walked over to the balcony, Boone, you hear him yell down. Well, you already said we got company, but he just says, "Lieutenant, get up here now!" And that is going to end their turns. Take us back to the top of the round with the dog creature before you getting to take its full round.
Did he take his fire damage, doggy creature?
Yeah, he just didn't seem overly perturbed by flame.
Gotcha.
And succeed on the save, so he's like 0 damage almost. He is in front of all of you. Can't go much further than where he is, and with just the last dregs of life, is going to use. It's going to use its tongue attack against. Let's see. Tongue against Hondo and claws against Alana. Does the mark give it disadvantage? Is that what that does?
If it attacks anyone else, yeah.
Okay,
Anyone
so,
other than me.
So against Hondo, the tongue is going to have disadvantage. That turns that into a 19 still.
Ooh, that. Yep, that will hit.
And against Alana, actually, is a terrible roll of a 9.
Ooh, that does not hit.
So the claws do not strike you, but the tongue loops around Hondo's leg and just kind of winds up your leg and drags you down to the ground and up into its jaws. As you suffer the initial kind of like sting of the spines of its tongue pierce you for 19 points of piercing damage.
Ooh.
And yet you are restrained and pulled towards it and held basically in its mouth. It's not going to move. Its fate is resigned here, so it's just going to hold its ground. Maybe tuck down and block the door is all it will do. Yeah, that'll end its turn. Mary, that takes us to you.
All right. There's no one in this room anymore except for me and Horace. Mm-hmm. I've heard those other guys, but can't see them. What's that to the south in front of me?
South in front
Just
of you?
a pile of boxes?
Just tables and boxes.
It looks like there might be like a door or a window there, but maybe that's just the way it's drawn.
Yeah, it's just tables and boxes.
Okay, that's fine. If I go in around Gord, like clockwise around Gord, can I see anything through that door or no? Like, is the door closed there?
The door is open, but with Hondo, Alana, this big creature, and then Boone, you really only see your friendlies. You have the thinnest of margins to see the guy Boone is in front of, and like you couldn't make an effective attack against him.
Okay. This creature's dead. This creature's gonna die any fucking second.
Mm-hmm.
Lana seems like she has it covered. Could I bonus action dash and just kind of vault myself around and through people? Yeah, into the other room.
Yeah, you could basically just like squeeze over to the corner here.
Okay, great. And so from here, who can I see?
From here, you can see this guy is directly in combat with you.
Yeah.
Just make out this guy just past this little like wall, this opening into the stairwell, and you can see this like whole stairwell that opens up into this open space below. And then you can just make out that this guy back here is drawing and aiming.
Okay. Well, is that all my movement?
That is the full double.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just have to go for the guy in front of me.
You got it. Go make an attack.
Ooh, bad. That's 4 on the dice. 19 total.
Hit.
Oh, okay, great. That's 16 points damage.
16. Given on the damage Boone had previously done, as you rush up with affliction, you just stab through it like right into the chest, and it just sinks in like butter, and he just
that's creepy.
He just falls.
Great. And no one else is in my range, right?
Nope.
That's Boone.
Yes. You could attack him if you want.
I'm not gonna attack Boone. We're good. I'll just no. I have 2 more attacks, but I can't really do anything with it because I have my sword out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it because I can't move any further. I'll just look to Boone and say, like, we gotta stop that guy from getting down the stairs.
Let them come.
Okay. At the end of Mary's turn, go to Hondo.
So am I still in his mouth or grasped by his tongue?
Yeah,
Where
you
do you
are
wanna be?
fully restrained and pulled basically right to the mouth. Your face is right in the maw, and it's just being covered in slobber and slime.
Okay, I'm gonna use my Dragon Slayer longsword to cut his tongue.
You got it. Go ahead and make an attack. Unfortunately, you have disadvantage because you're restrained by it, but you can still attack it.
The first roll is an 8.
Okay.
Second roll is a 4.
God, okay.
I don't think with the bonus this is going to hit, but go ahead. What's the total?
Plus 10.
So 14 does
14,
not hit, unfortunately. As you're just trying to like angle down into the mouth, it gets caught up in the fangs, the teeth that are surprisingly resilient, and unfortunately you do not find purchase. No luck.
Okay, well, with my bonus, I can still use Frostbite, and I will again try and cut his tongue.
Yeah, go ahead and just like the Dragon Slayer launcher gets like tossed down for a second as you take
Trying all the blades.
Frostbite.
Oh my god, what are we doing out here?
6 roll.
Disadvantage, unfortunately.
So
Another
that
lower.
12 second roll, but 6
So-
plus, what is it? 10? Oh, 11, 17.
17 hits.
Nice. There you go, buddy.
Oh, right. So it's just
2d6.
Yep.
Plus whatever the bonus is.
So it's 7 plus 5.
That's enough.
Yes,
12.
Fanny.
Yeah, with the second blade, you bring Frostbite down and you carve like a small line across the tongue, and you see it bleed, and you just kind of whirl and just wind it down in until the creature like bends low enough, and you just hard push it in and pin the tongue and the blade into the floor. And the creature just heavily slams into the ground and is pinned and dies. Oops. It is destroyed. You are released on the floor there. That is your action, bonus action, and pardon me. You have your movement.
I have movement?
Do you have your full move? Yeah.
I'll move a bit down. Yeah, that direction. Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, you come out into the space down here, and you can see the 2 Crimson Coin members who are awaiting certain doom here, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
That will end Hondo's turn and take us to Alana. At the top of Alana's turn, you take 4 points of fire damage as you're on fire.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to make an attack. But first, before I do that, can I rage?
Yes, you can bonus action go into a rage.
Not fucking around anymore.
I went in so hard and be like, this is nothing. I need to save my rages. Nope, not anymore.
Do you want to try and throw at this south guy or this guy here, or do you want to try and get up on them and attack in melee?
Yeah, I'll try to get up on him.
Do you want to go left or south?
I'll do left, please.
Easy enough. You push past Boone and Mary with your rage and your fire body just like slowly burning, and just storm forward and attack. Go ahead with 2 attacks.
Okay, first one, 15 to hit.
A 15 misses, actually.
Oh.
As you rush forward in your raged state, you are not being quiet, and this guy turns and like leaps, and you slam your hammer through the banister, and it just shatters. You break part of the banister. It's like an open section as he just kind of stands back in space. Second attack.
Okay. 24 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead.
And 17 damage.
Okay. This guy I don't think had been hit just yet. No, he hasn't. So it's the first damage on him. Oh, what's that? Minus 17. There we go. Yeah, with the second strike, you hit him hard, like right in the chest, and he loses like his breath for a second before kind of standing up and preparing himself for a fight, pistol drawn. But that is your full turn. That'll take us to Gord. Actually, I apologize. Before we go to Gord, Alana, Boone, and Hondo, and Mary, you guys watch and hear this kind of rippling in the air in the direction of the stairwell where Alana just attacked. And as Alana just charges forward, you hear this shattering of wood and this Crimson Coin member get struck. And you look and see this kind of haze begin to kind of rise up. And you can see kind of flying, hands extended, lightning crackling at the fingertips, a long sword in one hand. This elongated alien-like head, teal skin with like deep purple veins all across it, wide yellow eyes, very thin and sallow, no mouth or nose, it just kind of curves down into a neck, curves down beneath an armored metal plate kind of protection. symbols of the coin tabards in their colors. Just kind of rises up, and you telepathically all just kind of whines in your ear with this kind of screeching pain. You have made a mistake coming here. This will be your death. We'll pick up there next time.
Damn. Gotta think of something good to say back to that now.
You have a whole week.
Yeah,
Think
you
of
have a
something
week.
good. You've made a mistake. This is your death.
Oh, no.
Marinate on it. Come up with something cool. Who's first up next time? Is it
We want to
going?
keep. I was debating honestly re-rolling initiative as it's kind of like a new battle. We can keep this initiative and start with Gord.
Okay, Gord, you have to think of a good line. You have a week. Think of a good line to say to this asshole. Come with that heat.
Yeah, I can.
I hope you like being dead.
Pretty good contender so far.
It's not bad. Okay.
You are the one who will die now.
Pretty good.
Another solid one.
Then yeah, we will finish up the Darkwood Manor encounter next week, and then see what the fuck you guys are going to do here. Whether you're going to burn it, blow it up, leave it with some ominous signs of mercy.
Make a life here.
Maybe
Make a
start a
life
new
here.
family. You can be the Darkwoods.
Oh, that's interesting.
But we will hopefully be wrapping up our sigil adventures rather soon.